Run down to turn one is moments away.
What's up, F1 fans? Here we go.
And the Canadian Grand Prix is go. Max Verstappen's got a good start. So is Lewis Hamilton straight up to second position. Past Fernando Alonso.
Hamilton with a great start.
Trying to improve.
Fantastic. He's right on Verstappen's tail. He's right behind Verstappen. This is excellent.
Who's fighting the car as he gets on the power? This will be close for third place as we go into turn three.
A couple guys off into the grass.
Position. It is Verstappen.
Turn two.
Then Hamilton. Then Alonso.
Great start for Hamilton.
It's a position gain.
Russell still P4.
Make it up to fifth place.
Perez in the thick of it as well. In the
they still got their
tires, but again, there is Hamilton got great action off the line.
Oh no, they got the regular leverage.
Got the drive down the inside of Alonso. There was nothing the Spaniard could do about Lewis Hamilton getting to second place. And he did well actually to keep Russell back. Ferrari and a Red Bull. That's Sainz and Perez.
Sainz trying around the outside. Does he have the room? Oh, it's a
jumping curves. A lot of guys jump curves. Perez just got past Sainz though.
To Sergio Perez, who's on. Ferrari will try.
What do you think? Same guy that always wins, bro. Sainz around the outside of Perez. Looking for the switchback, didn't get it.
It was almost a lot of
a lot of action in the back of the field because there's some good drivers back there.
So many drivers do that so far this weekend. Bounced the curve, and now he's behind the sideways again into the final again. Still they go wheel to wheel. Bad traction off the corner.
Oh, is that Hulkenberg? Who is that? Magnussen into the wall.
And he finds himself dropping down.
He just kissed it, huh? Just slid across the wall.
Up goes Gasly, up goes Stroll, frantic stuff on the opening lap. Max Verstappen leads.
Panic stations for Magnussen there, just missed his break point with those squabbling
Lift your shit up, bro.
and just glancing blow to the wall. I think he's got away with it without any damage, but approaching 200 miles per hour there on the opening lap.
Welcome to all of our
with a full tank
F1 fans out there joining us today. Thank you.
George Russell trying to put the
tune in.
But we're filtering through the
Live Phil F1 show. Live Phil, and with me as always, my son and co-host, bro-host, Dilly. Dilly Dog.
Go on board.
Phil Dollar, Dilly DS17. Whatever, Phil Stappen.
He's
still Stappen.
Where he starts this
He's got a lot of nicknames.
Still bro baggy pants.
Still bro baggy pants.
The opening corners with Esteban Ocon got ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. Might be quite an important pass there for Ocon, who's the blue Alpine in the back of shot. He's
buddy.
Should be a slower car in race strips. So Ocon has a little buffer behind him with the Haas
70 laps
two McLarens,
scheduled for today at the Canadian Grand Prix 2023. Verstappen got pole.
Pretty quick on Friday.
It was raining during qualifying, so qualifying was crazy.
Fancy some decent points out of this one.
Is Piastri in 7th place ahead of teammate Lando Norris, so he is the lead McLaren at the moment as he tries to score points once again in his rookie.
So here we are, lap 3. DRS is activated. Hamilton's 1.4 seconds behind Verstappen, so he's already out of DRS range. They're showing the replay of the start, and Hamilton took off.
Trying to put your right foot down.
Star's pretty good.
Alonso, Hamilton is second now.
The throttle, and that's where Hamilton's so much grip.
Hamilton is second.
Even Russell looked like he had got around Alonso at the start, almost.
Hopefully at this point, but also gets decent traction up towards turn 3. It's very close, and that's sensible from George there to back out and not fight it to turn 3. It's very narrow there, and it's easy to end one car in barriers and race before it even starts.
Yeah, this is a very narrow track.
Yeah.
Like, if you're two abreast through any of these turns, it gets you.
Started 12th. He's currently running 12th.
And this was the move for Carlos Sainz, trying to improve past, and he dips the Red Bull as avoiding action taken by the Haas of Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah.
Close in the Magnussen region. A couple of places
Nice
it is
start,
going to be the shot then.
Entertaining start,
Missed his break
to say the least.
Fighting, and it was Checo who slammed
He was trying to pass on the outside of the
hard tires as well in the Haas, and was caught a bit unawares there from Perez breaking a little bit.
So everyone on the medium tires to start, except for Perez, Gasly, Perez, Gasly, Magnussen, and Bottas.
Also noticed getting smashed.
Gasly started on soft.
Has been enabled. Trying to build that gap out.
Sonoda's way.
Yeah, Sonoda must have taken damage because he started on mediums. Already came into the pit,
in that first second,
went into hard tires.
Near identical times between the Red Bull and the Mercedes, but he's a 7-time winner around Lewis Hamilton.
DRS is available, and Alonso had it on the last lap. Hamilton didn't. think Fernando might just be within a second of Hamilton this time around.
Alonso trying to pull up on.
So currently it's plan A. So we just need to stay with Alonso. Let's not let him get away from us.
Alonso brushing the wall, and a flash as the rear right connected with the barrier.
These guys are used to racing on street circuits this year. We've had so many of them at Fernando.
Yeah.
Right in a limit, but has got away with it. He's still staring at the back of the Mercedes. Hamilton just drifting back by 3/10 on the last lap from Verstappen. He's looking like he's got some pace. Wouldn't want to get any closer than that with the wall. Big hit, but you hit it squarely like that, and he's got away with it at that corner, turn 4.
He has hit the wall here at that corner before and retired from the Grand Prix. We were looking at his mega start in 2005 before the race began, and that year he did tag the wall at that very location. It is one of many retirements that he's had.
Lap 5 already. This is a really short track, so that's why there's so many laps.
He's got his old rival up against him.
Want to give him the rundown of the top 10, Dilly?
At this circuit, Alonso's bad day in 2007 when Hamilton took a step.
Okay, who's in the points right now?
In Formula One.
Verstappen first, of course.
Title that year. Can he retake
Hamilton second,
onto the back?
Alonso third, Russell fourth.
Mercedes
So Mercedes done pretty well.
Comparison to others.
Ocon fifth, Hulkenberg sixth, Piastri seventh, Norris eighth, Leclerc ninth, and Albon
Straight in that hairpin was so late on the brakes.
P11 and P12. Sainz in 11th, Perez in 12th.
That's what gave him then the run.
And they're battling. Leclerc's on Norris trying to make a move right now.
Perez's car is really fast too.
Yeah.
It's just
He's kind of been sucking
yeah,
the last couple races.
his car is insanely fast and just
couple of car lanes.
he's not even in the points right now.
Yeah, he did terrible in Monaco.
For the Mercedes, which as you
Crashed out.
Car in a straight line. Alonso
Terrible.
aggressive.
What was the last
Alonso
race?
looking
In
to make a
Spain.
move, and all the while they battle over
So
second.
far. So good here.
To get the gap up now to 2 seconds.
Awful
As we work our
qualifying.
way
But Perez is calling a bad strategy call. But it was raining, so everything's a roll of the dice.
Surface where it
And
is
a
so
wet
bumpy.
qualifying.
Some of these corners as well. Charles Leclerc with a horrible turning.
Because like
the final chicane,
drive
30
and then raining,
seconds ago,
and then
he
drive
was trying
and then
to
pouring
fight his
rain.
way by. He's got more speed than McLaren's. That much is obvious. He doesn't have the momentum to make use of it.
There's still so many unknowns. The balance of these cars, they've set them up from what they know on Friday, the hour and a half FP2 that we had, where there was very random track conditions, low grip. Here's Alonso into the chicane.
Oh, yeah, Alonso.
My question, but the
Fernando Alonso pulling up on Hamilton. He's had
knows
had DRS, yeah.
through there at the moment.
He's weaving like a menace
Wall
in
of
the mirrors of
champions.
Hamilton,
Why does it
wasn't
look
he?
like the sock?
Right, left, having another little nose
Jack,
out.
didn't
They
the
couldn't
chicane
make
look
it.
like the
Going for the
sock?
diversion tactic.
Emily,
Chicane.
Yeah,
Hamilton
something
is
like that. I got the side. That's how I remember it.
right?
think cars are more vulnerable than FP2. Understood.
Yeah, so that's Verstappen lying. He's probably going to do.
Caught out by
He's going to do 107 laps on the mediums.
They're pushing now with the setup they did on Friday, but the track is very green.
Verstappen's going to say that like
Change
30
depending on
laps
the amount of
later.
rubber that's down as
Yeah.
well. They've got a high fuel, maximum fuel in the tank right now. How hard can
Don't
they
you
get
have to pit at least
Fernando
like
Alonso,
once?
and you're staring at the
You have to use 2 different tire compounds throughout the race. So you cannot just drive on one tire the whole race.
It is
You can't
huge gap
like
between
start
the
with
top
hards
four.
and then put another hard tire on. You have to use 2 different types of tires. We've got a yellow flag sector too.
In the middle
What if you're like,
See if we see anything.
You've got Hulkenberg.
what if we just do
car 27.
69 with
Anyone stopped on the driver track?
What if you just start laps with the
critical message.
What?
So Sargent being given a warning. Piastri up to 6. Hulkenberg is 7th. Norris
What was
is
he
8th.
giving a warning for?
dropping, and he might lose another place here. Leclerc opens his DRS, wants to get on the action, but here comes Norris.
Norris out of the slipstream, trying to go the long way round. He'll wait for a chance, and
Yes.
once again,
the hard,
we'll
and then
see
just at the last lap,
Throw on a soft tire.
it's just like
For the
throwing a
one lap
soft.
speed.
Yeah, that happened a few races ago. Remember, the guy went into the pit on the last lap, and there were people running across the pitch, going trying to get their spot for the ceremony, but there was still a car hauling ass through pit lane.
Logan Sargent is out of the car. That
Logan Sargent's out.
upgraded. You can see his teammates still running in the points. So there is.
Yeah, he broke down. So that's
Does
the reason for the
anyone
virtual
take
safety
opportunity?
car. Where's he stopped at? Let's see.
Soft tires.
Well, he went past the pits before the VSC was called. So
Looking for him on the
came
driver
out just
tracker.
late enough that all of these cars had gone past the pit entry.
I think he's out. That's why
gonna
he's
be cleared
not.
quickly. Great job by the marshals.
Huh.
No luck
Yeah,
for
it's 'cause
Logan
he's
Sargent.
out.
And the
That's
virtual
smart
safety
move.
car is ending right
They
now.
cleared him out
Superb.
quickly and back to
Ideally,
green. That was
you don't
a very
want
short
safety cars
virtual safety
to
car.
change
So that
the
was good.
course of the race, and a VSC in just a 20-second
What happened
delay
to Sargent?
is great work from driver and marshals.
Just lost power.
Sounds like he just lost power, and he's pulled it off in a very good place there.
Yeah, just lost power.
And it's an F1
Logan
car.
Sargent.
Logan
out
Sargent,
of
the
Grand
American,
Prix.
he's been having a tough season this year.
Had no retirements at all, but he is the first one we've got today. We cleanly made it
He's like
through.
P20 almost every race so
The
far.
main story in the opening meters of the Grand Prix
Is
is
it
Hamilton
Ricky,
getting past
huh?
Alonso, and Hamilton is checking
Yes.
that left-hand mirror.
Is this
Alonso,
Sonoda
great
trying to
traction
kneel?
out of the hairpin.
Sonoda's in his third year, I think.
And he seemed to react quickly.
I think Sonoda's
as
in his
well.
third year.
We go back to Charles Leclerc. Charles Leclerc still trying to get past Lando Norris, and Piastri having a great run.
Leclerc has
McLaren
DRS on
scored points
Norris.
in this circuit since
Norris has
2014.
DRS on
They're currently
Hulkenberg.
7th and 8th, looking to change that.
the DRS
as
train in the
Leclerc,
middle of the pack.
DRS train and Hulkenberg still ahead of
I'm interested in
Norris.
the Alonso and Hamilton battle, though.
A little bit up the road. Hulkenberg's
So far, Alonso can't
scrappy
get
now.
past
Some
Hamilton.
apexes wide there at turn 2 in the Haas. Struggling with the tyres, maybe. They're
Taking off. Verstappen's 3 seconds clear of the pack already.
Clearly
3 seconds clear of Hamilton.
Norris and then Leclerc, who we were riding on board with. Alonso
Yeah,
was
so
really
Hamilton's
quick
got his hands
on that
full
last
dealing
lap
with
because he didn't actually have DRS on
Alonso
Hamilton
so
into
far.
the final chicane. It was still
Verstappen just
deactivated
fast
because
as
of the
lap.
VSC. If he
Yeah,
had
let's
it,
look
that
at
could have
their
been the chance.
sector
So
times.
close, and they're coming back into their head.
So Hamilton's
He's
faster in
still
sector
there.
1.
Lewis is having to take a lot of pressure here.
Is that Russell just set a purple sector 2?
Four-car battle in the leading gaggle of the field.
Alonso is a
Esteban
little bit
completely
faster in
his own.
sector 2 than
And then you've
Hamilton.
got Piastri trying to make a bit of a gap. Then everyone is glued to the back of
They're showing
Hulkenberg. That is the state of play.
Alonso with a
Russell
DRS.
The fastest middle sector of the Grand Prix so far as he tries to keep pace. By the way, what a top 3 we have at the
Sonoda's
moment.
like not doing
Two-time
well.
world champion
Yeah.
Max Verstappen, ahead of 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, ahead of 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso.
And it may
So
be
there's
a
2
future
big
champion
DRS
on
zones
the
here.
heels of them as well, with George Russell, who's done a great job at Mercedes. Alonso was flicking the rear close to the wall there, the wall of champions, no
It's like
less,
that,
out of the final corner. He's pushing so hard. We see the move from
Sargent,
Piastri on Hulkenberg. I love a bit of that.
Oh, Piastri with a nice move on
from the
Hulkenberg.
Australian rookie to the inside, and the crowd loved it.
Yeah,
Australian.
you've got to be a bit brave sometimes to make a pass. Too often drivers
Shout out to
here
Black
have
Flies,
the
got the
luxury of the DRS drive bar
Black
on the
Flies
straight.
Racing shirt
Piastri
on
did it
today.
there. You get 2 DRS.
Black Flies
you
Racing
get one
team.
into the final chicane, you get 1 then into the first
What was that
corner if you
mean?
can't make it through. And he still
When was it made?
on the brakes.
Yeah.
He just
I don't
sent it. And
Couple
now
years
he's
ago.
just a couple of seconds
I-
on the
I've
road.
It's been in the closet for a while.
Driving his
Oh,
own race.
that's right.
If the name Oscar Piastri is
I was
new
like,
to you as Alonso
I
goes
see
slightly
it.
deep into the
Saving it
hairpin,
for a race, bro.
Racing.
Oscar Piastri, a back-to-back champion, Formula 3, Formula 2, the only 2 other drivers who have done that in modern times. George Russell, 3rd tier and 2nd tier. Charles Leclerc,
All right, so they're showing the straightaway.
2nd tier champion. That's the caliber.
Yeah, Alonso's just not
Oscar Piastri
making up
earned
ground
his way
on
in Formula
Hamilton,
1.
but Russell,
The times on the left-hand side.
Russell's pulling up on Alonso though.
Entire field now. They're all queued up behind him.
Moves being made in the other Aston Martin. We can report to you that Lance
Oh,
Stroll
speakers on.
is now up 3 places from where he started. He's now in 13th.
So Lance Stroll's Canadian and they're in Canada, so he's got quite a bit of fans here.
Fall back in the braking zone. He's just coming to the pits to get rid of those soft tyres.
Yeah, that's
What?
why you can send it quite deep in the braking zone for that.
Here.
Chicane, if you're heading straight on into
There
the
we
pits,
go.
and he
Okay.
started on the soft, he is the first driver to pit
Thank you,
on
sir.
lap 11. That's a gripped guarantee 2-stopper then for Gasly. An aggressive one.
That's why I sounded
So he
different. I was
gambled
like,
on
wait.
getting a safety car
Sounds
intervention.
bigger
Nearly
Much
got an
better.
opportunity with
Damn,
Logan
that
Sargent.
camera looks
Marshall's
very-
at this corner on the right-hand
That's
side.
kind of like what they
Just too
see.
good.
Yeah, so they got the helmet cam with Lando Norris are showing right now, which is a fantastic shot. You get to see how bouncy and hectic it is inside of the cockpit. They have a lot going on.
Still leads
Is it
A
close?
lot going on.
between the pack.
Yeah,
And that's what I say. Look at this train. It's huge. This is from 7th place to 17th place.
Jesus.
It's all in a line here.
I watched my
Like it's
car
the
while
first
I
lap
get
of the
home.
race. They were on lap
this looks
11.
like
And
NASCAR.
Hulkenberg got his car. He got it onto the front row, technically.
11
Got a
cars
penalty,
so
had a
close
penalty,
together.
Which was a little harsh and dropped him down to 5th. I think I hit a bit.
Oh man, Verstappen thinks he hit a bird.
Drama for Max Verstappen if he has. That really could.
Is it going to be like that helicopter with the bird that came through the...
Lando Norris now has the momentum as straight on by goes Hulkenberg to pit, and Norris has the path cleared for him.
No, Hulkenberg went into the pit.
Now.
Oh, that was the pit. I thought he came off the track again.
Quite have the cards with who gets into our picture ahead. It's Lando Norris who has 7th place.
Norris defended that aggressively. Leclerc had a great chance there.
Yeah, Leclerc's 0.4 seconds behind Norris.
Caught Norris by surprise the way that Hulkenberg could fight back on the brakes, and then Lando was tied into the chicane. Finally made the move, but Hulkenberg pitted and got out the way of all of these cars as he did. And Leclerc couldn't quite make it through. That would have been an important one for Leclerc because Norris and the McLaren should have a bit of pace now. He's got free air.
McLaren versus Ferrari versus Williams.
We've got Stroll who has made his way. Oh, George Russell!
Oh my God, George Russell
There's front wing
hit a wall.
Down the
There's debris all over.
Russell in this gaggle of the top.
Back tires popped.
With the wall on the exit of 9.
That's
Got a right rear puncture. He's obviously got the front wing.
Russell's been... He's been getting loose, man.
There's a safety car
back right tires.
Yeah,
He's
popped.
bombing it. We've seen
He might have ran over some of his own wing.
close on other times.
Yeah.
Who's into the pit? Verstappen into the pit. Safety car. See if Hamilton comes in. Yeah, Hamilton came in. Alonso came in.
Just caught. I imagine the right
How come I
front
still
initially,
say
and then
fourth?
Russell.
must be quite the mistakes at the front.
Yeah, I want to see the
wing.
replay. Excellent pit stop from...
Hamilton,
This is
Alonso
right,
in the
like
pits.
the right side of his wing
It's
was
the
just
same order.
off.
Yeah.
Pressure on the crews here. That's why they
Hamilton 3.2 second pit.
was tight ahead of
Oh
Alonso.
my God.
So hand off the
Did
steering
Hamilton
wheel.
hit
Unhappy with being beaten.
Alonso?
We'll have a look on the
coming out of the pit?
whether it was an unsafe release.
Well, it's a 3.2
It's a bit
seconds
sketchy.
Mercedes and a 2.0.
Bad stop for Mercedes, man.
Alonso's been stuck behind Hamilton.
And Aston Martin had a 2.3 second pit stop, so 0.9 of a second faster.
Mighty close.
We're gonna have to see.
Released by Mercedes, and Fernando definitely.
We're gonna see if Hamilton gets in trouble for cutting off Alonso right there. It looked like they almost touched, huh?
Let's just change quite a bit then this race.
We're showing Russell what happened.
Towards turn 8.
So he goes into 8. We're heading to 9 now. This
Out the curve.
Got greedy on the throttle. Had a bad angle.
Launched it over the curve, unsettled the rear end, and then lost the car and was pitched.
Oh,
That's how I see how styrofoam now.
The suspension
Look at
there
all
as
that
well.
debris.
And that could
Yeah.
well be George
That
Russell
little-
out of the Grand
You see the
Prix.
rim?
Rolling, yeah.
I'm out, guys. Sorry. Copy. Sorry.
Yeah, where is Russell on the track right now? He is still limping
There's
around.
going to be significant
He's still
damage.
limping around.
And Russell there,
Think they get him
small
with
error
this
coming in.
Well, there's a full safety car right now.
There's this rim, like,
the limit.
Caution, caution. You're just ahead, just ahead.
Great job with the stop, guys.
Oh,
That's okay.
yeah.
You had to brake there, yeah. It looked pretty dangerous to me.
Oh, yeah. It looked pretty dangerous to me.
Made a mountain out of a molehill there. I think it was very, very close.
Good.
But
This
tried to
sport,
brake when maybe
People
he didn't
complain
need to.
so much in this sport.
Just
It's hilarious.
Look a little worse than he did. Then do a couple of
Like a
weaves and wave your
basketball,
arm in the
people
air
call
like it's
fouls,
outrage.
but
I think
there's
So they're
that's
checking
okay.
Russell's
Same,
rear
I'm
right
sure.
tire to
The
see.
stewards will,
They were very
give it a
careful when
check.
they put that tire on. They're checking the suspension. They got someone coming to look at it.
Russell, he's going to be a lap down before
See if
long
he's
anyway. Driver error. We don't see too
Is the
many of them,
suspension
even though
broken?
These circuits are so
Probably.
difficult.
Thumbs up.
We did see, okay, they sent Russell back
Russell's-
out there. They were checking.
Russell's back on the road.
So George Russell
Let's see what his car looks like.
now immediately see him bobbing and weaving around to see whether he's got
Yeah,
the car.
yeah. He's testing the rear end out a little bit.
But we saw Fernando Alonso brushing the wall a couple of times.
Come on, Russell.
Hamilton, Alonso,
Oh, wait,
and
this
Russell
is
were sharing each
shorter and
other.
stubby.
Oh, okay. Race control. Pit lane incident involving cars 44 and 14. That's Hamilton and Alonso noted. Unsafe release.
By race control.
So they're going to take a look at it.
Alonso's made something out of it. There's not technical.
Yeah, Alonso got a little
Kind
kind of like this on the wheel. Yeah, they just showed.
I think that he's just been steering.
They just showed total wolf that Alonso kind of exaggerated it. Here we go. A little better view. Let's see.
Oh, this is another incident. Then this was Norris who had a slow stop.
Norris.
That one looked even a little tighter actually there. Let's ride on board with Albert.
But watch Norris fishtailing out He's trying to stand on the power, doesn't want to commit, then has no choice.
Down was
No, so
kind
I
of
think
like,
there,
yeah, trying to get her foot.
Albon actually had to back off, or they would have been an overlap there for Norris. So I think Norris.
Yeah, so
is gonna
safety
be in
car's
trouble.
out.
I don't think Alonso had to back off.
Russell's trying to
He
catch
hadn't have hit
back
the
up
brakes.
to
I
the.
think Hamilton will have still emerged just ahead of him. It would have been really tight. But I
Is Russell
think
going
he was
really slow?
clear,
Let's see if
whereas
Russell's
Albon
going
had
fast.
to back off. Otherwise, there would have been contact as Norris emerged into the fast lane. So tricky for the
So
crew.
safety
and
car's
the
backing up the
drivers
pack.
in that instance.
Yellow flags are
Everyone
out.
is, coming to the pits minus Leclerc,
Russell looks like he's up to
Perez,
speed and he's doing
Magnussen
okay.
and Bottas, so they've left up the order. The other 14 drivers left in have pitted now, and it is just mayhem in the pit lane. It's a narrow pit lane as well. That's why we said 2 incidents. I'm sure the Norris and Albon one will be looked at as well. Stewart's
20
busy
minutes
once
into the race, in lap 14,
Just feedback on the
2-hour race.
It's a bit bent, but it's okay.
Race probably gonna be like an hour and a half. Huh?
So Russell
What?
on the
Race probably gonna be
radio.
like an hour and a half.
It's a bit bent, but I think it's okay. So just his pride that's damaged rather than any massive issue for the car. They did inspect the suspension there in the pits. They felt it was all right to send him back out.
And of course, with a full safety car, he will join the back of the Crocodile, which Max Verstappen is at the front of. Still, the safety car lights are on.
Where's the damage come from?
That is off George's car, we believe.
So Lewis asking, why is the debris on this circuit? Why are we behind a safety car? And being told by Pete Bonington, familiar voice to you, I'm sure.
Yeah, so they're still trying to clean up all that
On the radio
debris
saying
because
that is the sister car in
That was the
Paris.
guy that-
Well, I
the
almost
guy
read
that
that as
was-
something else.
the guy
There's
that
been a
drove in a
previous
car
chat
well,
about they picked up
right?
some damage
Oh,
on
yeah,
Hamilton's
yeah.
car, and he might have run over
David
George
Coulthard, I
Russell's
believe his
debris.
name is Coulthard.
So
That looks so just driving me electric
to
and
see how the pace
Oh, yeah,
is
these guys
the-
push
that
this-
Mercedes when we get going. The other
They
Mercedes
push
has
this
been
bin so hard.
fascinating as well, from 19th out of
Safety car.
19th now, but Russell will be still in the
That car
Grand
looks
Prix
nice.
somehow after what was a
but I
Yeah.
love that car, that Mercedes.
jumped,
Yeah, AMG
lost
GT.
the rear, snagged the front, limped into the pits. The cars are still so strong this year, and Russell remains in the race but has a lot of work to do. Is there more damage on Hamilton, or was he just wondering where the debris was from?
One to keep an eye on. Before
Yeah,
all of that
definitely.
happened, with the driver in 4th place hitting the wall, still able to continue.
On lap
dropping down to
15 is
19th after the
770.
sequence to clear up the debris
under safety
at
car.
the exit of turn 9.
So Leclerc and Sainz are up to
Saying that he thought
4th
he
and
hit a
5th, but they did not stop. They went for track position, so they're hoping that there's going to be another.
And inspecting the front wing when he stopped.
They're hoping for another safety car so they can get a cheap pit stop later.
We've seen Sebastian Vettel trying to avoid a seat,
But we'll see.
in the past.
Comment from Tsunoda regarding the hard warm-up was worse than expected, around 1 second. So we are expecting the cars in front to struggle initially.
All right, so the Ferraris think they got a shot
Front of the grid as they
on-
pulled into turn 1 on the first lap. There are a few around.
the Aston Martin, the Mercedes, and the Red Bull ahead of them. Because the top 3 cars are all onto hard tires
Not
now.
anything visible right now. Still,
And Leclerc and Sainz are on mediums, but they're on 14-lap old
Under
mediums.
investigation. I think it'll be clear, but it's still nervy times on the Mercedes pit wall for that. Then there's the 2 Ferraris then, and then Sergio Perez. Now Perez started on the hard tyre. This has worked nicely for him.
Yeah, all the cars are weaving down the straight, trying to generate some heat into those tires.
Around him, there's not a Ferrari. He's just going to be on a slightly older hard tyre.
So for those of you who are not familiar with Formula One racing, they have
He's
3 different compounds tires
and it'll be the charging
of tires for the race, soft, medium, and hard. The hards, they last the longest, but they have the least grip. The softs have the most grip, but they don't last that long. And the mediums, combination of the two. So it's really important to get your tires to a specific temperature range so they stick. You actually want these slick tires to be sticky,
All eyes on tyre warm-up.
like soft
We
rubber,
are
melted
on
rubber,
board with
really.
Sergio Perez. This is the
They're like
very start of
downforce.
the race. When he
Yeah, and if the tires are
started in
too
the middle
cold,
of the pack,
they don't
cross
stick to the
position.
road.
Safety car will be in this lap. It was a dramatic opening lap. It was Sainz and Perez dueling all the way through. Perez got through at that moment. Sainz returned the favour.
Oh, that was
Keep you
the beginning,
updated.
huh?
This is the
Yeah, they're showing the replay again.
side-by-side move. That was
First
to the
lap.
inside.
So
Perez getting
we'll see if there's any action with this safety car.
And then
Yeah.
at the
Coming in
final
right now.
chicane, heading to the wall of champions, Sainz
I'm gonna draw on that
made the
phone car, but
pass
I'm my
and
own
got through
sponsor.
on the medium tyre. Also, there's an incident involving Ocon, Bottas and Magnussen that's been noted for potential overtaking under the safety car.
That'll be because Ocon pitted and the other 2 haven't. So did they pass him before? Did Ocon come through? There must have been those two as Ocon came out of the pit. So it was to do with one pitting and the other staying out. And, being on different parts
green flag.
All right, green flag. So thing gets to pick and choose when he takes off.
Big moment in the context.
So Hamilton just has to be ready. That's why he's not warming his tires up. Verstappen's probably going to wait to get as close as he can to that chicane.
Max Verstappen. That is a sentence that we have said before.
So look at him just warming up.
Chooses when we go back to full racing pace. You cannot overtake until we go past the start-finish line.
Yeah, so once he gets to the chicane, he's about to break. Hamilton has not warmed his tires up at all. Buddy was right on his tail. Look how wobbly
the top three trying to get temperature in there.
The Mercedes was though.
He's giving chase on the medium. And the green flag flying once again. Big opportunity for Bottas. He's putting the pressure on further back.
Yeah, let's see
able to make the move.
Who's on cold tires right now.
There we go. We joined the house that's still P7.
Everyone cleanly through the first couple of corners then. Hamilton had quite a big snap as he tried to put the throttle on coming through that final chicane, and that hit Alonso the chance. But hard tyres, new hard tyres for those guys now, still leading the race, but managed to get away.
Clean restart so far.
Rear temperature. Verstappen's still leading. Can he eke out the gap again? It's already more than 1 second. With Hamilton looking like the driver's struggling more of the top three.
Scorching pace on the restart for Max Verstappen, who just has the confidence to switch the tyre on. You can see his car link's clear on this opening restart. If anything, Perez is closer to Sainz than Sainz is to Leclerc in the second Red Bull.
I always make nature checks.
What's
the one that looks like the sock?
This is
Imola.
an extraordinary pace on lap 17. He tries to build back the buffer,
which was skipped this year because of the rain.
Incident Norris has now been noted. You saw that a few moments ago. Unsafe release potentially in the way of Alexander Albon.
So we'll keep an eye on Hamilton and see if he gets a penalty or not.
Was the
Hopefully
lead
not.
McLaren before. That's car 81 fighting against his more experienced teammate, and all the while Alex Albon in the blue Williams trying to take advantage. Fastest lap of the race on the restart for Max Verstappen.
So we're on lap 18 out of 70, and Verstappen took off.
Look to the inside of Norris.
He actually just passed Norris.
Pass there today, was looking for another, but you've got to leave a margin on your teammate, and he knew it.
That was racy stuff. So Lando's got ahead of Piastri then on that first lap on the restart, both on the new hard tyres. Norris got past Piastri.
Ferrari
Fighting it out coming into the chicane, and then again the first corner. That's quite an important move.
Everyone is on the hard tire except for.
Have a 5-second penalty incoming for that unsafe release.
Red Bull's car is just so
This is going to be on board with
fast.
Lando Norris. We're heading down to turn 10. It's the hairpin.
We're getting the replay of Norris passing Piastri on the inside.
To take the place of his teammate.
Oh, that's
Snatch that.
It's a little bit rude on your teammate.
A little bit rude on your teammate. A little bit. That was quite crazy.
Gap was there. Didn't have a lockup. Piastri had a bit of faith that or Norris had a bit of faith that Piastri.
Oh, so they're investigating Hamilton.
There we go. Nice move from Norris
for an unsafe release.
So hard into this corner.
You got to talk into that mic.
Hamilton and Alonso.
They're also
unsafe release for car 44 under investigation. So upgraded from
Can't even hear you.
to under investigation. The same sentence applies to Lando Norris. Another fastest lap of the Grand Prix for Max Verstappen. The gap is 1.5 seconds out there.
I'm pretty sure they're investigating like Bottas and Ocon or
To
something.
see how quickly
Something like
the
that.
Ferraris have dropped on their used medium tyre now. They haven't made a pit stop, and they're still on the medium tyre that was having higher
And the replay
degradation
of
in the first part of the race.
Ferrari
Help from Charles Leclerc, little front
going deep,
lockup.
little front lockup, yeah.
The absolute
Oh,
best of those tyres now.
oh, double
And
lockup.
personal best on the last
That was a
one
bad
because
lockup,
it didn't
actually.
so
That was
much
nasty.
with the,
Yeah.
Yeah, so their tires are 18 laps old now, those mediums.
Faster cars.
So we'll see how many laps they can do on those. But
The Ferrari's fourth and fifth. Can they stay within touching distance of the top three?
all right, DRS enabled again.
Max Verstappen.
You got to wait 2 laps after the start of the race or 2 laps after a safety car for
so far in the first
DRS to
race.
engage. Yeah.
Who's rapid in the middle part of the lap as Alonso tries to hang on to Lewis Hamilton. Now that DRS has been enabled, you're looking at Laurent Mekies. He is currently with Ferrari as the director of racing activities there. He is heading to become team principal at AlphaTauri next season. And is that a problem for Bottas? Either way, he can't keep the place. We're jawling in the background as well. Albon had a run. On the road goes Oscar Piastri.
Piastri
He
had
rejoins
to
correctly.
cut through.
But he's
Barely ahead of Albon, though.
and there's an opportunity now. There's a place gain.
Yeah, Albon moved up.
To 11.
Piastri made a mistake and Albon took advantage.
It's nice to see, actually, really. You can't just run off and rejoin at a race.
Alonso got the fastest
speed.
lap.
You go off, you make a
Pretty good.
mistake, you're punished for it, and that was Piastri there, just missing his brake.
A lot of laps to go, though. Lap 20 out of 70.
Almost like everyone's on hard.
51 laps to go, yeah. Except for the Ferraris.
And Ocon
Yeah.
looked very slow. Bottas was looked like he was just letting a back marker through at the bottom of that shot there. And in fact,
Yeah.
Piastri already going quite defensively.
Little mistake from Piastri.
Was that the McLaren that passed his teammate or the other one?
And through went Albon in the end.
That was Piastri.
Could it potentially be a swap of
Norris
positions
passed
due
his
to that
teammate.
investigation under the safety car? Because that was very slow. Is it happening here?
Okay, Kev, we need to drop a place back behind Ocon. We need to drop back behind Ocon.
Okay, yeah, so he already did that.
If they exit infringement.
Well, there's like a robot at the end.
So that message, first of all to Bottas, then to Magnussen, and a positions regained for Esteban Ocon, sorted out nicely by
So
the
they
team.
got some
And the
pretty,
two
like,
drivers who had
fresh
to let
hards,
Ocon
except for
through,
the-
and suddenly
they're
Bottas
old
absolutely
mediums.
torches past the Haas.
Yeah, that was a good opportunistic move then from
Yeah, Bottas looking racy.
To defend into the next corner. They're all really, really close and bunched up now. On board with
Lando and
Norris,
Magnussen.
looking at a pair of them in the McLaren. There's on much better tyres.
Oh,
around the
oh.
outside.
Oh,
Does he have the room?
Norris.
Oh, that's magnificent from Lando
He got it from
Norris,
the
all the
outside,
way
too.
around the
Yeah.
outside of the Haas of Kevin Magnussen, who
Nice
loses
move,
two
Lando.
places in a couple of corners. And Norris, after a majestic move
Fantastic
from his
racing
teammate,
happening
and
from,
that
like,
hairpin fights his
4th
way
place
by, around
all the way
outside
down to,
of
like,
turn 1.
Yeah, that was
15
good stuff there
plays.
from Bottas initially. Let Ocon through in a sensible place. Magnussen did, but didn't have DRS on the back
The
straight.
fans
That
in
left
Canada
Ocon.
looking
Bottas came
really
through.
happy
And
with the
then
good
Norris,
weather out
nice
there.
move. Had the confidence on the fresh tyres to go around
What
the
is it?
outside. Had the grip.
2:37
And,
p.m.
makes
out there, and the sun is out.
You are risking
Beautiful
your
day in
Grand
Montreal.
Prix when you send one around the
3 hours
outside
ahead
of turn 1 for the
East Coast.
superior grip of the hard tyres. 8 laps old for Lando Norris, up against
so they're,
race-long old
over-
tyres for Kevin
If we were
Magnussen,
facing
enabling
north,
him
they'd be like,
to
what
get
were
the
they
pass.
here?
And we go back to the story of Alonso versus Hamilton. He had a key day here back in
Yeah, Alonso's been
2007
right
when
behind
the
Hamilton
McLaren teammates and
this whole
Hamilton
race. He keeps
got
getting
his
DRS,
first
but he
win.
just
They
can't
are
make any
separated by
moves,
7/10 of a second.
Seems
on
like the Mercedes
racetrack.
is just a little
Magnussen
faster here.
Not enjoying life on these tyres at the moment. Alex Albon, the next driver in the Williams, to try and line him up for a pass.
Yeah, Magnussen hasn't pitted as a reminder.
This is such a
Bottas
tight race.
in the Alfa Romeo,
In the
on
middle of
hard
the pack.
tyres. Norris Perez up in 6th, or the 2 Ferraris 4th and 5th, and they're all hanging on fairly nicely at the moment. The Ferrari, the lead Ferrari, Charles Leclerc in 4, just 4 tenths down.
Russell's
Verstappen
getting
on the last time, only 2 tenths down on Hamilton. So
Yeah.
they're hanging on
19.
and bringing their race to life at this stage.
Alonso is driving the wheels of that Aston Martin. He is risking
Yeah, Alonso's
so
pushing
much at certain
hard
points of the racetrack
Yeah.
to keep up with Hamilton.
feeding the steering wheel, working the wheel as he makes his way through 9. He is determined to fight his
It's only
way
like
past
2 seconds
Hamilton.
behind.
Determined to then catch up Max Verstappen.
He
as
catches
well.
him,
Alonso
and then
winless in a decade.
the Mercedes
with an
takes off through
upgraded
the-
Aston
through the
Martin
turns, it
with
seems
a
like.
chance to really
Yeah.
fight once again, and is won the best. Now, this is one of the best
we're on board with
opportunities
Alonso.
he's had all race long. Does he dive to the inside?
He got him.
Fernando Alonso
Hamilton.
fights his
The
way
DRS
through.
was just
gets past Lewis Hamilton
powerful.
and takes 2nd place, but it's not done yet, and he knows it.
Yeah, 'cause
He's
Hamilton's
looking
gonna
at the
get to
left-hand
DRS
mirror
next.
Because Hamilton's trying to retake
Hamilton
it.
had
The
no
two
DRS,
masters wheel to wheel,
but had
and
the,
Alonso
slipstream.
takes 2nd place.
That is a past 23 laps in the making.
Yeah.
And finally, it was actually
It's been a lot of work for Alonso to do that.
Again, initially,
Yeah.
Hamilton didn't come
But
right on the inside.
Hamilton is sticking right with him, though.
And the way that he's been menacing the mirrors
So
and
let's see
weaving
if,
and ducking and diving,
Hamilton
he
can stay
didn't need
within
enough
DRS.
reputation from that. Good
his
clinical
position
bit on
back.
the
Or it's
brakes
not
from Alonso.
DRS.
And then with DRS again into the first corner.
Alonso was sliding all over the
Just had
place,
enough to
man.
hold
That
Hamilton
guy's
back.
been pushing.
Aston Martin looks so quick. Verstappen's only a couple of seconds up the road.
Yeah, so
What's
DRS
next
is
then?
drag.
What is next? That is
Reduction
phenomenal.
system.
He went on the
These
outside.
two
Yeah,
old
the drag
masters
reduction
of
system,
Formula
it
One
refers to
going
the
wheel
wing.
wheel and further
So
back
on
into
certain
another pass. That's
parts of the
Alex
track
going
straightaways,
Magnussen,
you're
he was off
allowed
the road as
to
he made it, ducks back in, position
open up your rear
and
wing,
Oscar
which
Piastri says, "Hey,
reduces your
happened to
drag.
me a couple of laps
And it's
ago.
worth
Thanks for
25
the
kilometers an hour.
Joker laps, aren't they?
So you
Albon and
get a huge
Piastri
increase in
behind the
speed.
bollards, and
I feel like
going
if
at it
Hamilton
again.
didn't go on the
Piastri gets
outside
that
on that
place
turn,
back.
he probably still might have his position.
A bit of pace here.
So Carlos Sainz is asking for
throwing his hand
team
up,
orders to
appealing
get past
to the team.
Leclerc.
Can you maybe let me past Charles Leclerc? They don't want to fight
His
each
pace
other.
is going
And,
faster.
no further action on the potential unsafe release between Alonso and Hamilton.
You hear
That'll
my
be
head?
resolved on track as well, and no further action
Crazy.
from Lando Norris.
Mhm.
So the drama
I wonder which Chris wants to do.
has
Probably
no
Ferrari
further
sounds really
chapters
good.
written to it. We are in
I like the way the Aston
a
Martin sounds,
fascinating
dude.
stanza of the race. Alonso up to second position.
The AlphaTauri sound really good too for some reason. But yeah, I think my favorite sounding
City
car
sounds
this year is
decent.
the Aston
Max
Martin.
Verstappen's as well.
Yeah.
Who's,
I mean, they all sound great. They're Formula One cars, dude. Like,
matching Alonso on
there's,
the
there's not a bad car on the circuit.
V10 or something. Wait,
Is it
what
looking
is
after the tyres, or
it? Do they have
No,
the,
V6
the
with
master of the hard tyre
hybrid.
much closer in pace to the Red Bull up front?
Hybrid
Hamilton
V6.
just drifting over a second back from Alonso now. He might have to have a think about the Ferraris here.
23-year-old
Mercedes that was so quick in race
medium.
trim in Barcelona
23
a couple
laps
weeks ago.
old medium
Doesn't look like
tires
it's
for
as competitive
Ferrari.
around this circuit. Got the great start, did Hamilton. But
Yeah, and
since then,
Perez
he's
is
looking at his mirrors, finally
not
look
really
ahead to
catching
Aston
those,
Martin. And behind him, not far
Ferraris.
away,
Perez is in
are the two
sixth
Ferraris.
place
Leclerc
on the hard
and
tire.
Sainz. Leclerc just a second and a half back from Hamilton. On the
And he
medium
started the
tyres.
race
Started
on
the
that hard
race off.
tire, so he hasn't
Just looking
pitted
at the
either.
sector times between
23
Verstappen
lap old tires as
and
well.
Alonso. And,
Everyone's hard
fairly
tires is
even
like
stuff out there.
11,
As we
12,
go on board with
13.
Oscar Piastri. All over the road is Magnussen.
Yeah, so you're trying to get past
The
Magnussen.
ideal line you can see once again there.
Magnussen's a wily vet, though. It's not going to be easy. But
chance for
Piastri
Piastri to pull out of the slipstream
with
to
the
put-
DRS, yeah.
That's a great
Got around him.
illustration of the difference in grip between
Remember where Oscar
those who have
Piastri's
pitted
from?
and those who have
No.
yet to stop, returning to the points, 10th
Wait,
place.
wait.
The pressure tyre is
know.
paying off
Forgot.
right now.
Yeah, me
In
neither.
fact,
I
the Haas
forgot.
with Hulkenberg
I know
was
Nick de
struggling
Vries is
earlier on
also
on their tyres already. They
in the
had
same
a lot
place
of
as
degradation
Verstappen.
in
Do you remember?
Barcelona did Haas. Decent pace, great
Dutch.
qualifying from Hulkenberg.
Dutch.
They are
Dutch.
generally suffering in race.
I know it's Dutch, but isn't it like not called
the Netherlands.
Netherlands. McLaren 9th and 10th.
like the orange?
Yeah, Europe's kind of confusing with some of their countries.
Bottas
If you're
looking
from there, you're
for a
called
return
Dutch, but it's
to
the Netherlands.
today. He's
But
only
isn't it
scored
Holland?
all
Isn't
season
Holland and the
long.
Netherlands the same thing?
I thought the name was douche for a second. I was
We
like,
want a
wait.
clean,
Dutch.
we want a clean and fast steam. Sainz will not attack you.
So they're just going to
Yeah.
maximize the medium tire for as long
So
as
Ferrari's telling them not to fight, no team orders, just
Bottas with the fresher
Stay
rubber,
smooth.
Norris 12 lap old tyres compared to the race long tyres of the Alfa Romeo. This is Alexander Albon once again trying to get past the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. Magnussen just trying to stay in the race at the moment. Hope for an intervention later on when he gets rid of these hard tyres.
yeah. Magnussen did not pit either, so he's on 24 laps of
Ideal weekend. That's
25
why
laps with the hard tire.
have made your stop right now. That's the case for the Ferraris, for the likes of Perez, for the likes of Bottas, and the likes of Magnussen ahead.
Lap 26 to 70.
Position when
Verstappen's first place. He's 3.5 seconds ahead of Alonso. About 1.4 seconds on Hamilton. So we'll see what, maybe Hamilton is trying to just protect his tires. We'll see.
Major. Sainz now back from Leclerc as well. Didn't get the team orders he was hoping for there, did he? Wanted a swap.
So Russell is in 18 at the moment.
Don't want to chew through these medium tyres. We're going to make
Surprised
a
he's still in
one-stop
the
work.
race.
They're only
Yeah, let's see what his sector
And
times are
Sainz
looking
immediately
like.
dropping back, and the gap
Probably
and
pretty
Max
big.
is going to maintain around the 1.7.
21.9, 120.
Across the
So
board,
he's,
here
pretty
in
significantly
Montreal.
off of.
As once again with
Verstappen.
DRS, so Norris trying
But
to make
everyone
progress. He's got past his teammate, did a nice pass on Kevin Magnussen, and now Alex Albon's trying to do exactly the same thing. And he make the move heading to turn one. This has been going on lap after lap. That Williams is always so slippery in a straight line.
Yeah, the Williams
And he
is
did what
fast
Norris
on the
did.
straight
He's
line.
looking for the long way round. And Albon
Nope.
doesn't fancy taking
Just
the risk. Soaring left, soaring right, looking for a way by, but still, Magnussen
The
defends.
inside is
Just had
overpowered.
DRS still. Magnussen, the McLaren ahead of Piastri, was within 1 second of him. He's not
Russell
anymore.
down
So the next lap, Albon will have a better
15
chance as
from
Magnussen
his
in
start.
What happens when you hit the wall?
from Piastri
Golden
in
River
10.
down 10.
Just a mistake from Russell. It was
Yeah.
just a mistake. He messed up.
Albon, even though he was on the
Went
better
up
line,
6 though.
was not getting a huge overspeed
Player
and came back
6
to defend
times
the inside. He's coming back at him
6.
on this lap. Magnussen towards Piastri. He
started
knows he has
12?
to stay within
Yeah.
a second.
I didn't know that he
Otherwise, he's
started
going to be toast
Yeah,
from those cars queuing up
back
to pass him
qualifying.
behind.
Attack to try and defend. Worth saying as
Didn't know
well,
Russell
the
started
10-10
fourth.
incident involving Lando Norris has been noted. That is driving unnecessarily slowly. Did he try and build himself a gap underneath the safety car when the McLaren's rolled to the pits? That potentially could be what they're looking at in that department. He's not driving slowly anymore. He's all over the back of Valtteri Bottas. This is a circuit.
So I wonder if they did a double stack under the safety car, the McLarens. Oh, wow. Who just got pushed off? Is that Stroll?
Finds himself
Yeah.
taking the route to the pits.
It was Alonso's.
Looked like it was
Oh, he just went into the
route to the pit.
Yeah, I don't know. Did he get pushed off? Oh, he was called in. Okay.
Approval there, so in he comes.
It looked like he got pushed off the track, but
It's very early to come off the
He's
centre
coming
half
for the
tire.
pit.
You see how, like, how as soon as he goes,
the race now
the stuff
for,
is on the
Stroll,
tires.
for a
As soon as he goes, there's like
super undercut
dust and
from here.
crap on the tires.
So
Yeah.
close. I mean, if
that was weird. Why did they change his tires again? So he's on his second set of hard tires.
Hulkenberg was caught out how late on the brakes that Stroll wanted
Super
to go
weird.
because he had no intention of making that final corner.
We were thinking the same
You know,
thing.
he's just,
When he
yeah,
was
Stroll.
going to deliver it, and he just decided to stop. The team were waiting. Now, does everyone else respond?
So Stroll did 16
Stroll,
laps
who
on that hard
has
tire.
a really poor record on a Saturday here, and a really good record here in Formula One on a Sunday. He's only failed to finish his home race on one occasion before, and every other time he's been in the points.
I'm very grip on this tire.
Yeah, copy that, Max.
And last lap around, Fernando Alonso was 2/10 faster. This time around, near identical lap times.
Oh,
The never-ending
Albon looks
story
like he got the-
continues.
got the
Or is it
pass
about to
done?
be
Nope.
resolved by Alex Albon? Who
Nope,
gets
he
to-
didn't.
Good car placement by
I see.
Magnussen. But
There he
the
did.
effort
He got
might
it.
be done.
Yellow
And we
flag.
have a pass over the
green
line.
flag.
There was a momentary yellow flag out there as Albon takes another
Albon
place.
finally got past
Finally gets
Magnussen.
it done. That was Magnussen just dropping away from the McLaren. There was his shield for all those laps. And now, look at all the cars that he's been holding behind. One huge DRS train, all stuck behind Kevin Magnussen.
Everyone trying to pass Magnussen.
Last place, George
This is a
Russell's
tough
still
track to
there at
pass
18th.
on.
There's all these cars. There he is in the Mercedes, just stuck there.
Switch right. Switch right. Happy models. White box. Not yet. Stay out. Stay out.
Are you saying not to max it?
Signs,
Dude, Ferrari,
plain and simple.
their team
Doesn't
is just out of
he's
order.
Smart in the cockpit.
Their team's out of order.
And often when he doesn't call the shot,
They are
he ends up
never on the same
regretting that
page.
decision to let the team
And they
go forward.
argue.
That's a replay of Lance Stroll avoiding action. But the Haas done his stop, and this was him meeting his team in the slow lane.
He was just later on the brakes because he was coming into the pits. I don't think Hulkenberg did anything particularly wrong there. I just wasn't expecting that Stroll could brake
Did look
cleanly because he wasn't coming into that final chicane.
Response lap by Max Verstappen, the race leader, since he has been running again and again and again at the front of the field. That is now
So lap 30 out of 70.
4 laps consecutively in the lead. of
Not a lot
Grand Prix.
going on right now.
Some scorching run.
Verstappen's
run.
4 ahead of
Sebastian
Alonso.
Vettel in
Alonso's
2012.
2.5
He
seconds
is
ahead of Hamilton.
Dominant right now. The last lap just reasserted that dominance.
Almost every on the hard tires,
In
except for
second
the
place,
Ferrari.
Joy Beck.
29 laps on a
It's his last
medium.
one Grand Prix if he stays in that position. It's where
So
he
they're
was
at the
a couple of races ago.
upper threshold of the what the medium tires can.
What they probably should.
It's really
They're,
not.
they're
Look at
hoping
his
someone
teammate.
crashes and a safety car
Japan
happens and they get
place.
to pit
Was
under
out in
safety car.
Q2 yesterday, hasn't qualified in the top 10 for 3 races. The Red Bull is a rapid car, but it's still not easy to put it together.
I'm just losing grip with this tire now.
Yeah, okay, Max. I think we've got that message. Thank you.
It's difficult to put it together. All
Yeah,
conditions. with
Verstappen
so much
complaining
play,
about the
but,
hard tires.
he's
The grip.
Starting getting a bit
The Red
jittery
Bull
in this
doesn't like
one.
it.
Losing grip. Still 2/10 quicker
Oh,
than
my
Alonso in the
grip.
last lap. Quicker than Hamilton.
It's only 18 laps old,
2.5
though.
seconds between Alonso and Hamilton. So Fernando's not scampered away from the Mercedes line, having made that pass.
I'd be sick
I
just
wonder
to sit
if
there and watch
Verstappen
him.
is mindful of what happened to him last year when he was controlling at the front and we had a late safety car restart. He clearly doesn't want to stay on that hard tyre for too long. Started on the medium, stopped under the safety car, now on the hard tyre. But he knows that
Strategy on the
Alonso
track today
getting
is
that first win in over a
a
decade.
big question mark for all the teams.
Safety car
Practice
intervention,
1
like
this
we
week today basically was canceled
happens multiple
because
times. You're gonna be asking drivers
their
later
closed
on in the race to take tires
circuit
to
TV cameras, which they use for
non-ideal
safety.
stint.
You know, they need to see the whole track. The system went down, so they couldn't practice.
4.3 seconds.
P2 was like an extra 90 minute or an extra 30 minutes or something weird.
We've had a VSC,
Wait, extra 30
But they had
so far today.
crazy weather
Get a half distance, it can happen
for
again.
P2.
And it can change the face of the
P3 it was
race.
raining, I
You don't
believe.
have the margin if you have a if you come
And
past
then
the pit
quali
lane,
was
in the case of
a mix of
VSC
rain.
sometimes. So you just want to try and build a bit
So
of a
they
buffer
really
if
don't
you
have a
can
lot of
to
data.
keep yourself and your team a bit of
Data.
space
What's the right word?
Data,
to not
whatever.
always get the strategy bang on.
Of information on how these are going to perform on the different compounds. All right, who's coming into the pit?
Out of
Russian
4.5 because we're up to
Hulkenberg in the
away with it as we've seen before.
No, if you consider the margin of victory for the Red Bulls, basically being up around the 20th.
Hulkenberg had a tire stuck, 2.1 second pit stop.
In the field, different story.
Not bad,
today.
not great.
Hulkenberg 3.2 stop. Haas longer, the slowest team in the pit lane at pit stops. Managed on the timing sheets to go Alfa Romeo and Williams, who one of their stops so far this year. Some improvement for the American team, smallest team in the field.
So that Stroll has gone through ahead of Hulkenberg, and he's lapping quicker than everyone from Norris down. So Stroll is in under range of the top 10.
Yeah, Stroll on the new hards.
Really covered him off.
He's
13.5 seconds back.
maybe that was a good call.
At this pace, he'll start to get
But we'll see.
back to this. It's all behind Hulkenberg's teammate Kevin Magnussen. Still
Stroll is
12th place.
putting a
Magnussen
dent.
a mile away from Albon, but he's just dropped away from DRS range, so that could make him a little bit vulnerable to attack from behind.
And Lance Stroll, again, worth reiterating the strange story of Lance Stroll as into the pits.
Yeah, so we're starting to see a lot more cars coming into the pits.
Battling, opting out of the
Guangzhou, you in the pit right now.
position. Lance Stroll never started higher than 16th position.
Here's 19 laps on his hard tires. A lot of these guys are not happy on the hard tires, it seems.
So Stroll always enjoying in race trim here over one lap. He's looking to try and put pressure on those ahead and continue that momentum. Go on board with Yuki Tsunoda, driver number 22, trying to chase down Kevin Magnussen. The stewards are looking now. It's now investigation at Lando Norris driving potentially too slowly.
Yuki Tsunoda on Magnussen. We're seeing he's got DRS.
The double stack that McLaren had to do
Right on
to
his
both
bumper.
of their cars under the safety car. He's got away with
Yeah,
one
AlphaTauri
potential
sounds
penalty
good.
for the unsafe release, where Albon had to slow up in the pit lane.
Yeah, thanks everyone
Again,
for
another one.
joining us,
Now 5
watching
seconds
the
back to Albon or Piastri.
Canada Grand Prix.
Now he'd have to take a 5-second penalty. It would be costly. What McLaren do have, though, is 2 cars line astern, so they can orchestrate it a little bit if they want, if it were to finish like this. But we're not even at halfway yet.
We've seen a lot. We're going to see
We're
some
seeing with DRS, so he's going to start fighting the pack. Russell's in P16 right now.
Of the Haas, not George Russell, curious line that he's running down to the final chicane, just trying to cool the car. As in comes Gasly now, the driver in 16th position, hits his marks. So angry yesterday to be impeded in the race. Now 2.9 out there. Gasly will rejoin down in 18th place. having run 22 laps on the hard tyre.
The soft tyre start to work out for Gasly. Started in 15th, wasn't happy with his bit of impeding that he came in the face of Sainz yesterday, and then that starting tyre just meant that he had to pit before the safety car, and everyone else pitted a couple.
So Russell's kind of working his way back up. We'll see if he can end up getting into the pits.
The two of them were there,
the points.
in quite fast cars, and there they have stayed now. A few pitters have elevated.
So yeah, Russell's up to P15.
Struggling to make it past the AlphaTauris ahead. Then it's Magnussen who's just on this long stint on these hards.
So
Yeah, Magnussen's just holding people up all day today.
Stops now. We're still thinking plan A.
Plan A for Alpine and for Esteban Ocon, podium finisher in the Monaco Grand Prix early this year. Tsunoda ducking out of the battle and leaving it to his teammate. Here's Nick de Vries. Here's Nick de Vries with the pass to the inside. Can he get it slowed down?
Oh, they touched. They touched.
Wheels. Does it open the door?
And that opened the door.
Russell
Just let Russell through.
his way by.
Russell's like, thank
After
you.
a tough moment earlier on, Magnussen and de Vries still
Up
going
to
at
12.
it.
Oh, and a crash.
Again.
They
They're
touched.
banging wheels in
Now they got to.
and how do they get out of
This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh, man. The Haas is
in a couple of corners.
stuck.
He's fumbling.
Yeah, he's blocking the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda.
De Vries
Magnussen
there
finally
on the
finds
inside.
reverse.
Didn't give Magnussen a lot of space in it.
Yeah, this is actually
two.
pretty dangerous.
K-Mag didn't
So
want to cut the corner. He had the car slowed, barged his way in on the apex. He was entitled to do that.
It wasn't
And
like
then
a
they kept
crash,
going again. De Vries
no, but
did
they
it in
touched and they had to
turn
go into the
three. And then
runoff
tucked
area,
his
and now they got to drive
reverse
through the
it.
mud. Let's see if he doesn't get
Very
stuck
quickly
right
in
there.
time,
Ugh.
assuming.
Wow, yeah, that's dangerous. It's a yellow flag, but you can see the
Ferrari were hopeful that they had an opportunity to put
Ferrari
on
was hoping for a red
hard
flag.
tyres.
Yuki Tsunoda lost out on that one, that's for sure. Got to drive over the
Funky
grass.
moment from those two who didn't want to see any of it.
It's a really bad spot.
A bit of lawn mowing. Okay, this began at turn one. Talk us through it.
So then De Vries goes to the inside. Magnussen's not given that a bit of an inch so far in this race.
Yeah,
And
touch.
rude from De Vries trying to usher K-Mag wide at turn two. And
Yeah, good fight.
a little touch there. Magnussen just wanted to keep
They're
the
still
car on
touching.
track. He just was there with his left front.
They look like teammates, bro.
Almost, yeah, their cars are very similar
They got
color.
away with it there. Russell sneaks through, and then it's into the next corner where
I get
they go again.
confused
It looked like
sometimes. I thought they were
Magnussen
teammates
let
at
the
times.
pace go,
Right.
came in, but so
do you hear?
dirty on the inside line. They just couldn't get the car stopped. K-Mag then couldn't turn in because it was an
And
AlphaTauri.
K-Mag couldn't
See
get
how
into
fast they
reverse.
stopped?
Turn out in the end.
Yeah,
Tried
these
to
guys
turn
made
in, little
contact
touch,
so much on
and
this
then
last
just blocked
30
things
seconds.
from going anywhere with that
interesting.
one. And he comes to the pits,
Not
but
a
both of their
bit
races are
mid-repair.
surely pretty well done after that.
Yeah,
It was tough stuff.
We're like more than half.
Both in
really bad for De Vries and Magnussen.
As De Vries refusing to give an inch. De Vries not with the season that he would have wanted after that
crazy how fast
superb
the
rookie
pits are.
performance.
I mean, that was kind of a slow pit, but just in general.
in Italy last
Crazy
year.
changing all the
AlphaTauri
tires like
had
that
Yuki
quickly.
Tsunoda 2 times.
Sounds like my mic is pretty loud. Sounds loud.
He crossed the line in Spain in 9th position, but had that penalty
Yeah, it's
reflected
not-
now. So race control looking at that incident, and neither driver willing to give an inch. Magnussen says a little bit of
I like that
frustration
car
that he's
team,
had
the
to
colors, the
make that stick
combination.
work, and he's had to hang
Ocon
on
and the
for so
Alpine.
long.
Yep.
Didn't want to be passed by another car.
In Mobile F1,
So
did you have
load
an
of pit stops
Alpine?
now. Norris has pitted.
Yeah,
He
sometimes.
covered
Like
off
a
Lance Stroll, who I
Mercedes,
said
right?
was going to be getting his way
Didn't you
towards
have
the
like a
top 10
Ferrari
with this huge undercut. And there they are there, the McLaren and the Aston Martin
Still have
running in
them.
12th and 13th. Bottas has
He's
finally
not late.
pitted.
Yeah.
It should
Shout
be
out to
quite
all the
good for
mobile
Bottas
F1
now.
racers out there.
With the strategy coming his
Pretty fun
way, as
game.
it has for the
But
Ferrari.
after having the sim,
I've
But
never
once
don't really
again,
play that
not-
much. Yeah,
Not
what looks like the
comparable.
most of the rest of the field now. Ocon.
Still dope,
We heard just
but
like in his
it's
race
still cool.
engineer.
The idea is really
we still want to do a
It's nice to
one-stop
learn the
with second
track.
on two. They've changed their
F1
mind.
mobile
He's
racing
in
is good for
second
learning the
as well. Covers off Bottas.
But the
and
Formula
remains
1
in the points.
2023,
Puts George
the
Russell
sim.
now up into
Yeah.
9th place.
Oh,
we gotta check
no,
mobile
no,
racing and see if they loaded Vegas on there yet.
No, we have
After
22.
the big whack at
22,
the wall
right?
that caused that safety car
Yeah.
earlier on. Perez pits as well now.
You're 22.
Okay, Mexican driver into into the pit lane.
Remember, it was like
Right,
the
Perez into
Show
the
you
pits
that
in
on the left-hand
P6.
side. Oscar
So he
Piastri
did
is
36
looking
laps
in
on his
the
hard
mirrors,
tire.
and he might not have much of a
Remember
chance
this
to deal with it.
IndyCar
Okay, he goes to the
Who
pits,
else went in?
and that releases Alexander Albon. These are crucial
Perez is in
laps.
the pit?
There is a 5-second time
Piastri in the
penalty for Lando Norris.
Oh,
It's come up as
Lando Norris.
like behaviour, which I've never seen on the
5-second time penalty, bummer.
It's the other McLaren of Oscar
Piastri in the pit, great pit stop,
Norris
2.4 seconds.
5-second penalty. We've yet to see a
Piastri in the McLaren.
100% why that was. The message earlier was driving unnecessarily slowly. That leads us to guess that it was behind the car, building a gap when McLaren had to double stack the cars.
Yeah.
Surely racing drivers
Piastri comes out just ahead of
necessarily slowly
Hulkenberg.
at any other time unless
he's
it's to their
fun, but
benefit,
scary
and that
driving
would
one of
be
these.
for Norris.
So
Unsportsmanlike. You can
Russell,
understand
man,
why you
he
wanna
was
do it.
down in
You're through a
19th
chance
not
to,
that long ago. He's
to
P8 right
some
now.
tires on the front car and then be ready for you, and it worked out in the short term, but long term.
That was
Norris has that 5-second
An
penalty.
incredible amount of.
Actually tactical move from McLaren.
Okay,
to pit
we got
him before
Carlos
that
Sainz into the
penalty
pit.
was announced.
So finally,
now he'll carry that at the
the
end.
Ferrari.
If he took
11
5 seconds
places.
there, he'd have dropped down a
That's
few
dope.
positions. He's got
Yeah.
time now to try and build a buffer.
Russell might catch up.
Carlos Sainz in the Scarlet Ferrari.
He's in the
ready
points
to
right.
new
Maybe
tyres. That's
might
the
get
end
top
of the
5,
medium
like
stint
maybe.
for the Spanish driver, who asked for a little bit of help.
Yeah, so
from
Sainz
the
did
team
39 laps on the
We didn't hear the message, but we know it was rebuffed because they held station for a while.
38 laps actually on
Gets
the.
out ahead of
medium
Alex
tire.
Albon. You can see the blue Williams
I'd
there.
assume Leclerc will be
Turn one.
coming in soon.
Perez directly behind Albon as well. Perez having
So it
made
seems
that
as though
stop onto the medium
tires last as long as the hard
2 pounds
tires.
in the Grand Prix.
So it's not to use this tyre up if there's anything left in it.
I've already used it.
So they're going to be heading towards a 2-stop.
Yeah, this
with,
is a tough
Mercedes.
track to
Hamilton
drive
will
on
cover
for the
off
drivers. You
Ferrari,
can just tell, like,
pit
their
stop
radio
sequence there.
messages
Surely
are
he's gonna come
intense,
into
they're
the pits and
short,
follow
they're
his teammate
terse.
now on the next lap, or he's going to be undercut.
These
in
guys
the,
are
in the stops, but he's 3.5
really having to
seconds
focus to
third. So Mercedes
keep it
have enough
together on this
time
track.
that they're not under huge undercut threat.
It's a very
on,
narrow
those
track.
short
There's
laps.
tough curbs. You got to hit just right.
One Ferrari and one. The other Ferrari is in the pits
And
now.
the track is not rubbered in from all the rain that they've had this.
on the medium tyre with
this
focusing
weekend,
main
so-
part of your picture of the inevitable pass.
I would imagine this is a bit of a stressful track to be driving on today.
To rest
Not a lot of
another
grip on those
Sunday
hard
for the
tires.
Race in a row, but at this track,
Leclerc in the pit.
overtaken. He's proving it once again.
2.9 seconds.
It's a 2.9 second stop for Leclerc. It's a pass for Sergio Perez, and it's Verstappen with just shy of a
What did
5
Leclerc
second
go on to?
lead
Also hard
from
tires?
40 of 70.
Albon's having a cracking race here. 7th place, just been passed by Perez. Perez has taken an extra pit stop, and well, it's only one stop, but he stayed out earlier on, so it's effectively an extra stop at that point. But in the Williams, he's up in 7th place, and he's got some good pace. He's still just set a personal best lap of the race on the lap before.
Yeah, Perez
his
on new
pass
mediums.
From Perez, it was quite a simple
Easily
one.
passing
But Albon
Albon
did fight there. The Red Bull with huge straight line speed as we've seen
on
so far this
27
year.
lap old hard tires.
Makes it nice and easy into 6th on fresh tyres.
It's like
But
green
Albon,
dot
we
on
heard
the
James Vowles before the
It's like a
start of the
weird
race.
green
Being
dot on
asked,
the
the pace on the slicks and the wet yesterday was impressive.
Red
It's like,
Bull.
well, hang on, the pace on the wets in the wet was pretty
It was
good as
like
well.
a
We're
Red
in the
Bull.
top
It was
10,
almost like
rain or
Verstappen.
shine, and right now, Albon
So
is
Lewis
showing
Hamilton
that
got the message box. So let's see if he
Hamilton
actually
has been
comes
called
in.
into the pits, and he's
in the pit.
his way to his mechanics.
I was probably should be in third. Because
They would go to
Smash
work.
when I was
He's going to mediums. Yeah,
The medium tyre
medium tire for the
earliest
Mercedes.
in this battle now
Decent-
on the
decent
outside. What
stop,
can he do? Can he
2.7
make use
seconds.
of that rubber
It's okay.
to put pressure on
Kinda
Fernando
good-ish.
Alonso and
Not
try
great.
and close in on
Not
the man
bad.
who
2 point,
passed
like,
him on lap 23.
2.5 and below
Hamilton
is like
got past in
third.
the opening meters.
Yeah, I'd say 2.4 and below is good.
There are the two Ferraris then.
I'd say
They are
2.5 to
not
like
within range of,
2.9 is
Hamilton
acceptable. 3 seconds and on,
Sainz
like
stayed behind Charles
bummer.
Leclerc, 1 second between them, and they will probably race to
Didn't,
the end. There's no team orders,
Didn't
and they'll be pretty
Red Bull
happy
be like
to
a
be in
1
fourth
point
and fifth.
something?
after
yeah, I've seen like a
1.9
1.7. I think was the
from
fastest.
where they
Crazy.
started, down in 10th and 11th. So a
Yeah, so
decent strategy
Hamilton
for Ferrari.
goes on the medium tires. Let's see if he
Decent
can.
headline for them, that. They've had a
catch
bit of a rough
Alonso.
time of it. Charles Leclerc wasn't very pleased with what they did yesterday, keeping him out on
Alonso comes into the
today.
pits
It's worked well.
to try to
They
battle
get
the
some big points, but not quite a podium yet.
to try to stop the
Fernando Alonso,
undercut.
unsurprisingly, he's going to cover off that stop for
Yeah.
Lewis Hamilton.
So Lewis Hamilton is pushing right now, dude. He's probably going to get the fastest lap.
Appears
I
in
still
your
forgot
picture,
Hulkenberg's
appears in the
back.
pit lane looking
So Hamilton did a
for another
23.9 on the
strong
first
day this year
sector.
in Formula One. Looking to cross the three-figure mark in the points tally. It would be his best season since 2014
Hulkenberg.
if he's able to go past the century.
While Alonso was put
That he's been restored to the front of Formula One. Good stop as
on
well.
that hard tire.
Aston Martin, heavily revised car,
2.6
able to
seconds
pass
for
Mercedes
Aston
on track.
Martin.
2.6 seconds.
So this
stop.
is a
And there is
position. We see
the
Lewis
Mercedes
Hamilton.
heading into
Yeah, it's
turn one.
well
He
behind.
responded as he needed
Didn't
to.
even get close.
Great response by Aston Martin. He's still second place in the Grand Prix.
Hamilton did
They're not
not
simple
get
cut-off
close.
then.
Tried the undercut.
Thread of the undercut then was Aston Martin and
Yeah.
Alonso, as Hamilton did to the Ferrari.
Pits
Or
out of
as
the
surely
numbers.
Verstappen must now do on this
Verstappen only
lap.
did one pit.
How are the Red Bull crew going to do? Normally, they are picture perfect. Stop, so good, so well honed. But there's a race lead up for grabs now. A mistake here could be the chance that Alonso needs. He's only 4 seconds back, 4.5.
I feel like on the last 10 laps, they're probably going to switch to like
Not
softs, you know?
absolutely out of the woods. Here comes Verstappen.
I don't
Let's
know.
see how they
I
get
think they're going to try to make these medium
So
tires
he
last the
makes
rest of
his
the
way to
race.
the pit lane.
Because we're on
As
lap
you say,
42
Joe,
right now.
What I would do is I just
are
switch
won
to
by
softs.
teams.
They basically got to do 30 laps on the mediums, and we saw the Ferraris do
drilled at this moment. It's
38
not
laps on the
automatic.
mediums,
It's
so
not a
it's
given.
doable.
How much do you
They
think
are
one
proven
tire
time and
is?
time again. Let's see
What,
this time.
four?
They get
Like,
rid of
maybe
the
one
hard
tire,
tire.
200
They place
bucks?
on the mediums
Like one
and
tire?
back into the race with a 2.7 second stop. More of the
Dope
same
tires.
from the constructor champions of the world, chasing their 100th victory in
It's
Formula
crazy,
One
like,
the
the
and hanging on
the
to P1.
Malfunctioning or something.
They know
Like
to
how
win
these
races
cars are
and they are
made.
doing
It's crazy.
everything right today.
They're
Even if
so
not
light. They're so
as flary
fast.
as they've been so far this year. They're not disappearing up the road. But they're
Yeah,
just
so
doing
kind of
everything
interesting.
Right. A little bit quicker than the rest.
It looks
Pit
like
stops are
The
absolutely
Aston
in
Martins
check.
prefer the hard tire.
Slightly slow away actually from the point of view. Their wheel spinning.
Verstappen's
on
Red
the-
Bull
such a dusty apron there that
switched
he
to the
was,
medium
was
tire.
moving as he was
Alonso on the Aston
1,000
Martin
horsepower
switched to the
now.
hard tire,
And,
and Hamilton
cost him too
switched
much.
to
He
the
leads
medium.
the pits
So
and he's 4.7 seconds
top three,
ahead of Fernando Alonso.
out of the
So
top three, Alonso's the
Verstappen
only one who
the
stayed on the
medium
hard.
tire.
See if that means anything.
Hamilton on the medium tire.
mediums.
Alonso on the
Race
hard once
seems
again.
like they'll last like
So that's
really
the
long.
difference between the top three out
What?
front.
The mediums on
I'm
this race
interested in
seem
the
like,
Ferraris. Leclerc's just done a
Really?
decent lap.
That's what it looks
like.
Hamilton. The gap is now 2.6 seconds.
but it's worked great.
Because the
this year.
Ferrari did
Hamilton
38
going
laps
2.7 seconds.
on those mediums, so
And
doing
on the
30
last
should
bit,
be
there
okay.
wasn't much to choose between them. That was the Ferraris, both of them out there on quite a used medium tyre. Hamilton on a new hard, which should have been a bit quicker. So now they're kind of like for like, albeit with a tyre compact. Can Leclerc chase Hamilton, and is that our chance of a bit of a race for a podium?
Boy, and
That's
Why does that car look
Ferrari,
bigger?
they were so pleased what they were
Doesn't it?
seeing with their
Like
race
wider?
pace, with their one
Car in
lap
the back
pace.
looks
Then
bigger.
the rain
It's
came.
because of the shape
They
of the side
caught out
pods.
both drivers, one impeding, one out in Q2.
So Sainz will not attack you.
The same message again
sure that
on
would
the radio.
Piss off Carlos
And
Sainz,
that's a
though.
message to say, just go and
Shoot.
chase Hamilton here. Don't worry about the cars behind. Go and see if you can get a podium out of nothing.
Yeah, go
Gas
attack,
taking
bro. Go
14th
attack.
position,
Sainz wants to
up
pass him.
against Hulkenberg. And the French driver
Sainz
forces
wants to
way
pass him,
past the
huh?
German, and he is
Um,
up to
yeah, of
14th
course.
place.
Tyre take, we heard earlier
course,
on that
bro.
they thought it was a bit
Race car
higher than
drivers.
FP2, but pretty low with the way that those Ferraris were going on the mediums. We've got Albon out there and Russell, both doing personal bests on the last lap in 7th and 8th. 26 laps to go.
Should we wear our glasses because
And they're
we're
going to
Black
try
Flies
and take
Racing
this
Team?
all the way to the end of the
And
race
it's
on those
sunny in
hards
Canada.
and keep track position and bank a load of points. That would be for Williams there in 7th.
Shout out to the boys at Black Flies Eyewear.
Charles in the Alpine, but only
Shout
by
out
a
to the
couple of
founder,
tenths to a
Martinez.
second to Albon. Overtaking's not been so easy around this circuit. Could be a bit of a fight lower down.
Shout out to everybody at Black Flies
Hamilton pushing
Japan.
on. He's just on the fastest
Akira
first sector
San.
of the Grand Prix. Further
Cheers.
back, there's a battle that's been interrupted
Yeah, dude,
by
Black Flies is
Perez
global, man.
and lapping the
Yeah.
cars that can
Actually
now
knew.
resume.
All right, Hamilton just said
You
fastest
see
lap.
Further back, you've got the Haas and the AlphaTauri glued together
So
once
Hamilton's
again.
really fast in the first
Back to
sector.
De Vries. They're back together again. This time it's Magnussen on the attack right now. Medium tyres against De
Quite
Vries on the
the
hard.
gap from
Bit of
Alonso
wheel
to
banging
Hamilton.
A bit of history and another chance. The
4.5
fastest lap of the Grand Prix for Lewis Hamilton. Again,
So he's going to have to do a few of those to catch Alonso.
so he's immediately going to work.
But he's
on
trying to the gap
He did go
of Leclerc.
so
He's
he's
trying
run,
to keep ahead of
those
Leclerc.
laps,
So
then forced Alonso in, Hamilton in, then forced Verstappen in.
I think they'll be buoyed by the fact that Ferrari took that medium to beyond half distance of race.
Yeah.
25 laps to go now. You think, well, if they can do that on it, we can lean on this tyre. That's why Mercedes both opted for the medium tyre. The faster tyre.
25 laps
If it
left.
can last the
Yeah.
distance.
Mercedes is doing a good job of making their tires last.
Smashing in a fastest lap of the race. Verstappen with a personal best, 3/10 away from Hamilton. They're all just starting to stretch their legs now. We'll see who's got what.
You notice what I
There
just
is
thought
a
of? You know
race
how the
behind us,
movies, like,
so,
when they're awake, like reading a
people
book,
up
but they have
all
glasses
the
on, and they're sleeping in their
Hey,
That
You better not
information
fall
being
asleep
relayed
on
to
show,
Verstappen, who seems to be in look after the car mode.
This race,
There is going to be a race
Long.
between Alonso and
we're only
Hamilton.
like an hour in.
Fantastic wheel-to-wheel action, fair, respectful, and a good pass from Alonso earlier
so let's
on.
see if,
Hamilton really enjoying himself through the first sector of the racetrack, which takes you all the way down to the entry point of turn 6.
It's a pretty underwhelming hurry up, wasn't it, to Max Verstappen
Russell.
from his engineer there.
Yes,
Just
Hamilton
saying,
is
look,
trying
you
to
guys
reel in
go
Alonso.
for it.
he's
Keep
pushing.
your eye in. Don't give up any time here because they're still not miles back. 4.5 seconds.
car.
Yeah, Russell's still
back from
P8.
Verstappen.
He's getting ready to make a move on Albon.
Numbers in the past.
I like
Red Bull will
my
know all about
shoes
that with
would
Sebastian
kind of
Vettel in
match
20 different conditions, different
Got
circumstances.
the blue and white J's on
I
today.
just have my car
in the back
instead of
just
my
yet.
shoes.
We were telling you
So
about
my
the battle
car-
between Kevin Magnussen and Nick
But
De
they
Vries,
look like
now resolved
teammates.
in the favour.
No,
of
Kevin Magnussen finally passed Nick De Vries.
Eventful
They gotta
afternoon,
change
and
like
Haas
their
getting through
liveries.
at the
They look
moment.
like teammates.
Yeah, right.
These are one-stoppers then. Albon and
Even confused, and I know the difference.
Totally.
But still not a great rate.
Yeah, some of these cars look very similar. So I would say the Haas looked close to the AlphaTauri.
Oh, wait,
the stay out strategy.
Hamilton, another fastest lap.
Safety car. So he's
pushing.
at some points, but he'll want to try.
But he's not taking much time out of Hamilton. Alonso. Somehow Alonso's still stretching the lead on Hamilton.
He's going to find himself running.
Hamilton's still
into
third.
Williams,
Still
and
podium.
being caught by all those gaggle that you can see streaming into the back of shot there.
Alex Albon and George Russell, great
Albon,
friends. They came
Russell.
up through go-karting, then through the formulas. They battled for the Formula 2 title back in 2018. That was claimed by Russell. And, Alex Albon eventually
So-
finished
oh,
third in
so,
that championship. And they are very
people
close friends,
that,
and they're separated by hardly
Some
anything
people that
on
drove
the racetrack.
here were like
At the
F2,
moment,
right?
Albon looking to score just
Like
his
Formula
second
2, right?
points
Yeah,
finish of the
most of these
season.
guys came out and had to do some Formula 2 racing.
Do you know if there's been like a racer? You know how there's like backup racers? Do you know if one of them was like a backup racer who became a normal racer?
To Hamilton in
I don't.
one
Yeah, it
sector.
happens sometimes.
You've seen him?
Yeah, so Hamilton's only 3.3 seconds behind Alonso now.
Took it a bit far. Alonso's been pretty good so
3.2.
far. Had that little touch with the right
Yeah,
rear.
De Vries
That is
was
the same
Mercedes'
way Russell
backup driver a couple years ago. Now
We'll
he's
keep an
in the
eye
car,
on,
you know.
on
It
Fernando's
happens.
tires, but as Hamilton pumps
Wait,
in
who,
another
Alonso?
fastest lap, he's just taken 2
No,
seconds.
Nick De Vries.
Oh, Nick
out
De
of
Vries.
Fernando
I didn't
Alonso.
shit my bad.
Hamilton fastest
Keep an
lap
eye on
again,
that
so he's
gap.
within
Keep an eye
2.9
on
seconds
whether
now.
a minor
So
problem has become a major problem for
Uh-oh.
the man in second position on
Uh-oh.
the hard tyres.
What happened?
Okay. You tell me when this time goes is okay. Just don't do it.
Yeah, we will do, but please keep doing it now. Please keep doing it.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Yeah, I want to win the race, man.
Uh-oh. So there might be a
Winning
problem
keep
with
second
the Aston
place,
Martin,
the way
it sounds like.
that Hamilton's on a charge right now, the
Because
Mercedes.
they're telling
So
him
Alonso's
to lift and
coasting. He's
coast.
saving fuel
Sorry.
at this stage.
Oh,
They're running that
does he not have
Aston
enough
Martin
gas?
Very, very light and marginal. This is going to be the error
Yeah,
then
like-
at turn 8. And there we go. That was the corner where Russell crashed
Okay.
earlier on. And Alonso got better of
The
it back in
chicane
the
where
curve in the
everyone
same
just-
way as
Yeah,
Russell did.
cut it.
Lost a load of time in doing it,
Ooh.
but managed to keep his car.
11
Yes,
seconds.
he almost hit the wall of champions too.
When you come into a corner,
That's a tough corner, man.
instead of braking at 100 meters,
That
you
turn
lift
8.
off at about 150, and then you brake at about 80 meters. So you
And
brake a
the
bit
wall
later, but you
champions.
cruise into the
Oh.
corner, and it's a very effective way of saving fuel and
So
not
wait,
losing too
so
much lap time.
Alonso's
Sometimes
maybe
it
running out of
means that you
fuel?
Lose your references.
Yeah, so they can
Like that.
pick and choose how much fuel they put in the
Out
car.
front, it's
You
a
know,
5.4
so
second
they're
lead
estimating.
for Max Verstappen,
Yeah.
continuing on the day he's
And that's
trying
one of the
to
things they do
equal
in practice is they see what kind of fuel mileage they're getting in the cars. Because when you change your downforce settings, you know, if you have more downforce, you get worse gas mileage.
Part of that battle for second
Yeah, Russell's
place
about to
earlier
catch
on.
Albon. It looks like he's
Barrier on the exit of turn
Trying to get
9
that
bring
P7.
out the safety car. He pitted. He's still in the race. He's trying to get past Alex Albon and the car.
It's funny when you raise your eyebrows with the glasses.
It's still pointing in the right direction.
I just noticed.
To try and claim a few points.
How do people raise their left eyebrows?
Of a double podium.
It's so hard.
They are gone.
For some classic Albon defending. You got the straight line.
You gotta get your actor muscles built up, bro.
I'm only good at. I can only do like one eye.
They know what he can do at Williams.
Good old one eye.
I mean, I can only do the right eye, not one eye.
Hey, we're focusing on racing right now, buddy.
I know, and I go like this.
Russell is right on the bumper of Albon. He's catching him.
Coasting into turn 1 on the last lap as well, so he's also having to just be a bit careful with.
Yeah, a lot of these guys, I don't know if they're just saving fuel or if they're trying to save their tires too.
It is very tough on fuel consumption. There's been a safety car which should have alleviated many concerns about that.
Yeah, you would
but
think.
Clearly, a couple of drivers out there
Alonso's like
worried
6
about
seconds behind Verstappen.
You don't want to run
Hamilton's like
any
4.
kilo
Yeah, cheers to all the race
more
engineers
than you need
and
to.
strategists. The strategists have such a hard job.
Run it as neat
Being a
as
Formula
possible.
One strategist,
It hasn't been a concern
I'm sure it's an
really for
amazing
a while now.
career.
Used to hear it a lot.
I'm sure it's fantastic. You get to travel the world. You get to participate in Formula One. But oh my God, the pressure.
Tsunoda trying to improve up past Hulkenberg, who's the car in front of us for the moment, but no more. And it's up to 15th place for Tsunoda.
That AlphaTauri sounds good.
Hoping
Yeah.
a little bit of drama to allow.
It sounds like a really low revving engine.
He's the
like-
second place man, Fernando Alonso. Wait back.
Sounds like a
His older
V12 or
version.
something.
Lewis
Like
Hamilton needs to have put on a
It's a
show.
V6 like and then V12.
Second
It's like,
place so far in this
right?
Grand Prix. It's been on
The
many
higher
focus. We've
the
seen
number, like the lower it gets or
battle
something.
change a couple of
Kinda.
times off the
Usually.
start line on lap 23.
Yeah, kinda.
Alonso
Depends on how
takes his way
it's
by,
designed,
but the teams have chosen different strategies, and
to
it's
hit the-
bringing the battle
reps.
back together once again.
Although
3.5 seconds
just steadied the ship here. He's
between Alonso and
a few
Hamilton.
decent laps in a row, so the gap stays at 3.4 seconds between the Mercedes
combinations
and the
would still
Aston
make
Martin.
their own.
They were dueling earlier on, dueling in
We're
the
on
pit
lap
lane,
51 of
and they wanted
70.
to duel
So
before the
20
end
laps
of
to
Lewis
go.
Hamilton, but Alonso just
20
keeps
laps to go.
the brick at arm's length. 19 laps to go, and he's settled down there. Maybe they've allowed him to stop lifting close for now. Just
20
pick up
laps
his
to
pace
go,
and get
bro.
into a rhythm.
On lap
Fernando
51,
Alonso
you gotta
within
complete it.
6 seconds, just
Windy,
6 seconds back from
picking up.
Verstappen. And that's with
I mean,
that
19
mistake
laps
at
to
turn 8.
lap
So
70.
that gave Red Bull a little bit more breathing space.
So focusing on Fernando Alonso, who started the season with a trio of podiums.
Yeah, so Verstappen up in the front, cruising away. He's
Miami into
6 seconds ahead of
Monaco in the
Alonso.
mix for the win.
Alonso
Could have been if
3.5
they timed
seconds
the
ahead
stop
of Hamilton.
differently. And they timed the tyres in a different direction. And then coming off the back of his worst result of the year, 7th position, beaten on the road by Lance Stroll, his teammate, for the first
And
time
Russell
this year,
down in 7,
waving
still
to the
chasing
crowd
Albon,
at the
see
end
if
of
he
the
can
Grand Prix, rather
get
than
by him.
put any real pressure on his teammate. And Alonso returning to form today. He was promising the interviewer down in the pen, no more races off the podium this year, making good of it.
That
At the
turn
moment,
looks
man
cool.
who has really
Yeah.
enjoyed
Just 'cause I-
fighting again at
And
the
then
front
kinda
of the
curve
field.
right there.
Perez currently down in 6th, Alonso on for 2nd
It's so hard to
position.
sit up straight in this
We're
chair because
focusing
like
on
when
the
you
closest potential move
my
on
back.
track.
Yeah, and you got to lift it up a little bit because you're
So
short for the
completely
microphone,
run out
so
of the slipstream. That's his favoured route down to the final
you
chicane.
can't have your feet on the floor.
Car as well, and maybe it's for brakes that the Russell was
You know, when I
lifting
go like
coasting as
this,
well. It's very
it's
tough
like
on
that.
brakes this circuit. A lot of big stamps at the left foot, and again lifting coast. If it's not for fuel, it's to try and manage your brake temps. And George not taking the slipstream in some parts will be to get a bit of clear airflow into the car.
Yeah, not much
Cool down.
action going on in this portion of the race right now.
Meaning that it's tough work for him to pass the Williams. Same strategy at the moment. Hits it on the same lap. Russell
Happy
now
Father's Day.
has
Happy Father's Day to my dad. Phil Senior.
Oh yeah,
on that Mercedes.
Up there in Washington. Hope you're having a good day today, whatever you're doing.
Phenomenal straight line speed, even with DRS.
See if there's anything in the chat.
I don't think so.
Into that final chicane.
And they were talking about
It's
Alex
like a
Albon's
notification.
Say
defensive
what's up.
prowess. We saw it last year
Say
at
who's
Spa
watching.
when he took a really strong point-scoring finish. Despite not having the overall speed, he had great straight-line speed that Jolyon was describing. He hung on to it under massive pressure in the final stages.
It's been a bit of a race straight in the midfield, and we've got one on board with Lando Norris in 11th. He's at the back of this DRS train.
Lando Norris is hungry for points. So is Ocon, Bottas,
DRS on each
and
other.
Stroll. The Canadian,
overspeed.
the Canuck.
It's Russell that has the best chance behind Albon, because Albon, of course, doesn't have DRS. He's 17 seconds behind Perez. He's just got a very quick Williams in the straight line.
So Albon settling into the rhythm, looking to take it all the way to the end, looking for an opportunity to keep this incredibly talented bunch of drivers directly behind him. Different experience levels.
Throw that in the trash.
All drivers
Or just put it on the table
themselves competing at the sharp end of Formula One at one time or another.
Hamilton half a second quicker than Alonso on the last lap. The gap.
Wow, Hamilton was
3
half a
seconds
second faster on the last
Still
lap.
race on for second place. The Ferraris are a sensible pace right
That's
now
a
in
lot.
this stage
That's a
of the
big
race
difference.
as well, but they're not making inroads on the fastest car out there at the moment. Hamilton in this stint has been the quickest driver. Verstappen maybe not pushing to the maximum, as we've heard a bit of team radio. He's just
Yeah,
controlling
Verstappen's
the
up there
race.
cruising
At
out
the
front.
moment, it's the Mercedes of Hamilton who's trying to make the charge.
Come on, Lewis. Let's get up to P2,
In
buddy.
the red and black Alfa Romeo, closing in on Esteban Ocon's bright blue
Getting close.
Alpine, and terrific confidence under the brakes there.
Yeah, Bottas looking smooth on the
Bottas trying to
brakes.
close in and a return.
They're showing the aerial view from the helicopter.
Season opener back in Bahrain, but remaining
Hey,
calm.
Ocon's having a heck of a
And he's
heck of a season so far.
for Alfa Romeo, but I think the whole team and just the reassurance down there, they would like their team leader back in the points today.
And they're all now driving at the pace of a Williams on used hard tyres.
We got Dilly Gill managing the chat room over there.
Williams with a bold strategy from a great position didn't try and do the second stop, as all those cars behind did, and they've got themselves to track position. But there's 16 laps for all of these guys
Gotta
to
watch
work
that
out how to
cable.
pass him, and it's going to start with George Russell. But Russell at least is on the same tyres as
There you
Hamilton.
go. Okay.
Everyone behind.
There
is on
you
pressure
go.
rubber.
There you
Bottas is
go.
on the
Dylan's
medium.
back.
That should be the best of the bunch. Russell slow.
Hamilton
Oh,
2.4.
Russell in the Mercedes finds himself being passed by the gaggle.
What
of
just
cars.
happened?
And
I don't know.
what's the
Did his
issue
car
with
break?
this driver?
So we think we're going to have to retire this car.
Oh,
Front left brake wear is too high. Tell me what you want me to do. So call the car, just call the brakes down, and we'll block the end of this lap.
oh man, Russell's
We've
done.
seen him pulling out of the slipstream on that back straight.
Yeah.
Moment.
Russell all day. He's been trying to
Now
keep
we know the
his
reason
car
why.
cool.
Brake wear too high for the
Yeah,
Mercedes.
Was the
Earlier
brakes
too.
that Russell
Yeah.
was worried about.
But it seemed like even
In
before
there,
the
in
crash, he
slipstream,
was
Albon gave him
that a lot. So
but it
Something
wasn't
stuck in his
enough
brake
to,
duct
to cool the car. Just get
I don't know
over
which car's messed
RTM,
up.
And Russell's
Yeah.
race
not,
is over
like-
finally today.
I mean, because he did crash earlier.
40 laps out of it
Like
after the
back crash.
hit with
All
wall,
the pieces
but
are flying crap.
could have been points out of nothing.
Choo-choo.
Comes
Tons
to
of
an end,
pieces.
and that's bad news for
His
Albon
rim
now
was
in
all messed
seventh,
up.
who has no.
Oh, he's out of the
buffer,
race,
guy
huh?
On the same tyres behind, he's now got a load of faster cars.
15
on much
laps to
fresher
go.
tyres
Hamilton
behind.
is
I think
only
you'd rather
2.3 behind
Russell-
Alonso. Making moves.
So sorry, everyone. Nothing more to say. Sorry.
Russ has had a long time to think about that error. Stayed with it, gave it an option. It's a
Yeah.
pretty narrow garage down there as they removed the headrest. It's his second retirement of the season. Mechanical failure when he had been in the lead of the Australian Grand Prix, the Canadian Grand Prix, all of his own making after tagging.
And so Russell nearly
And I wonder if
pulled some
that
points out,
damage there.
even after a pretty significant crash.
Not repairable, and that's why the
Yeah, these cars are all over the
spiraled out of
curbs today
control
too.
For Russell.
They're attacking the curbs, hitting them really hard.
Was munched up on the right hand side as well.
A lot of chicanes. I mean, pretty much all the turns are chicanes on this track.
From Russell. So far, it's been a pretty good day of driving once again. Russell then the second retirement of the day after Logan Sargent puts Lando Norris back into the points, and this battle rumbles on. For second
Hamilton
place.
still 2.3.
How we go drivers.
I'm watching
as we
the driver
continue
track. They're
with
watching the map.
Lando
He's
Norris
not far
chasing
behind.
Bottas for ninth position. That 5-second penalty for pushing a gap.
And Hamilton
to the
can clearly
safety
see him.
car earlier on.
2.3 seconds is not a lot of
Quite his way
distance
by and build a
in a
gap
Formula
ahead
One
as a
car.
result of it.
Hamilton now just 2 seconds back from Alonso, 4/10 quicker on the last lap. Medium tyres against the hards, and the mediums are looking pretty good for the Mercedes. Getting closer to DRS range, 13 laps to go.
Russell checking in with team management.
So he's out.
Yeah, he's out.
At a
He's
circuit
bummed.
like this where the walls are
That
close.
crash, his car's damaged.
Again, for the British driver who went in today in
That
fifth
crash
place in
is
the championship.
not
darting
not
around.
messed
They're
him up.
getting
Yeah,
busy
caught up
here.
to him. I was actually
And you really
surprised that he.
I was
surprised he was able to continue.
Forgiveness around the circuit.
Yeah, he got up to P8.
And Hamilton, we've gone on board with him. The top left of your picture,
hard to
because you
get
can
out.
now see Fernando
That sucks.
Alonso.
Yeah.
The green.
Are they gonna build a new
disappearing
car?
down to the
I don't know.
hairpin
They'll
in your
fix it.
picture on the left.
I'm wondering if his retirement
His old adversary
was actually
once
due
again
to
ended
his
Grand
crash
Prix
earlier, though,
toe-to-toe
because they said his front
engine.
left brake temperature and wear was too high.
So it's pulling away, but
So maybe his rear right brake was
at this
damaged and it
time,
was
Hamilton is
loading up his front left. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
It's quicker on Alonso, and that's why the gap is pretty small between the two. 1.7 seconds. It's pretty small for Ocon and Albon as well. DRS for Ocon.
Yeah, 1.7
Turn eight.
seconds is
He's as
close.
as
Hamilton's
he's
charging.
been.
He's
Albon
moving.
is driving masterfully. He's soaking
Watching
up
these
so much pressure,
lap
but this
times
might
right
be the
now.
biggest challenge yet.
So Ocon now closing in. Alpine versus Williams versus Alpha Romeo versus the McLaren as well, with that penalty hanging over Lando Norris. But a competitive, it's always a dramatic moment. Finds himself. It's never straightforward for the Williams driver. They've usually got to do something audacious.
Yeah, so we're looking at
to a top 10 finish
nice
here.
battle potentially
And
shaping up between
bobbing
Hamilton
around
and
in the mirrors as he comes out of the final chicane. They begin another lap here. Albon keeping the position. 7th place would be his best of the season so far, if he can stay there.
It would be a great return for Williams, who deserves
I'd like to see them
juicy out of
switch
this
over to
weekend.
the,
way that they've approached it.
I'm gonna pull up the driver
they've
tracker and we'll
to come out on
watch
slicks in the wet or in the damp in Q2 yesterday. Earned themselves a start in the
the
top
driver
10.
cam, I
He's
should
already
say.
quick in the wet conditions. He's been quick in the dry. The other time that they had a chance to score the big points was Melbourne, and Albon crashed out on that day. He's got a reprieve here. He's got half a second back to Ocon, and there's a load of cars joining the party as well. Stroll's there in the Aston Martin now in 11th on the back of Norris. The pressure is going to be relentless to the end of the race for him.
It is an extraordinary picture on our driver tracker in the commentary box. It's evenly spaced out, traditional race picture, and then the Albon train. But crucially for the Thai driver,
So we're gonna ride on board
is the
with
lead carriage out
Lewis
front.
Hamilton as
Out
well. And
Ocon, Bottas, then Norris, then
Ham.
Stroll coming in. He's going to bring Piastri into play as
For
well
Ham-
in a couple
for
of laps'
Loham.
time.
It's
And
not
all
for
the
him, though.
while,
It's for Loham now.
time greats about to
For
do battle
Loham,
for
like-
second position in the Canadian Grand
Yeah, so
Prix.
we're watching
Nine.
Watch
on
like,
board with
watch
Lewis
like a
Hamilton.
crazy crash that we see on his driver.
One hand on the trophy out front. But a reminder to you, if you're new to
1.4
this
seconds.
sport, we have seen this
The
Grand
gap
Prix
between
decided on the
Alonso and Hamilton, he just needs to get
multiple
within a second in the DRS zone.
Nigel Mansell
That'll make a
retiring
big
here
difference.
From the lead in the early 90s,
He's getting there.
2011, Jenson Button fighting his way past.
This is a very bumpy
One
track,
great
and
drive
all the guys have been
after
complaining
first
about
day,
that.
And Ocon looking for any hint of a weakness in the Albon armor.
I mean, you can just see how much these guys' helmets are
He's
just
trying to show the blue
bobbing up and down.
nose in the mirrors of the Williams ahead. He's so close at this point. He's got the DRS open now coming down to turn 8, but it's not an overtaking place. Squeeze on the brakes, right the bump, turn it into the right the curb on the left, and now you're fighting for traction. This is where, if Ocon could do something in this corner, we saw Alonso was so good at going late on the brakes, taking a late apex.
Look at Hamilton's
Ocon dives it in a
cam,
little earlier,
Dylan.
and just can't.
The ham
fight
cam.
the traction.
We're watching the ham cam with Lewis Hamilton, LA's 44 right now.
Remember what we saw here last
Let's
year?
go, Lewis. Hammer time, buddy. Hammer time. Let's go.
Hammer.
Out on the circuit.
Your
Back
mic
all
sounded
the way to
very,
the end
like,
for those out
weird.
front. We've got a close battle for second.
Like,
It's hammer time.
And
it was loud, and then it sounded like
really fine.
Oh, it's a
margins.
compressor.
echoey.
Over 7th
That's
position,
what I started
and it
hearing.
could be
I
7th
was
position.
picking up on your mic, too.
Drivers in your pit.
Oh, that's
For a
why.
blanket over
Loud.
into turn.
Hamilton.
Stroll
Oh,
is
no,
very much
kinda,
at the back
kinda.
of the Papaya McLaren.
Hamilton's
So
still
it's
1.5 seconds
leading out-
behind.
Leading the Alpine, leading the Alfa Romeo, leading the McLaren, leaving the Aston Martin out there at the moment as Hamilton continues on trying to chase
Yeah.
another Aston Martin, the lead Aston Martin that took second place.
Oh, man, it looks so fun driving these cars.
Now, it is worth saying.
It looks
our
crazy when you
information,
watch the first
for
person,
those
though,
listening in to
in the helmet cam.
radio picture of
Yeah.
the race is that Alonso is
Yeah, so Dylan and I are watching along with
trying to manage that
Lewis
time.
Hamilton
He's trying
on
to leave
his
something
driver
in reserve,
cam.
But he doesn't want to manage for too long now.
it's a first person view.
It sounds like Alonso is nursing a rear brake issue.
Okay. Rear brake issue
Brakes as well
for Alonso.
for Alonso.
They're
So the teams,
to the radio.
they have,
Yeah, it's fine
just like we do, you can listen into any driver, you can watch any driver. So the teams listen to every driver radio,
So it's
especially the guys who they're
as it
racing,
was for Russell.
but just to collect data,
Is the
data.
G up for
information,
Data info.
data.
Data info
earlier on.
information.
And
10 laps to go. Come on.
Look at Albon. Look at.
Flings
He
it through
looks-
8 and 9, just was drifting.
They're showing
I didn't think Albon looked like that.
the driver of the day votes so far.
Albon looks different.
Alonso
like
has
that.
16%, Hamilton has 14%, Albon has
This was Hamilton,
14%.
Wall of Champions.
Wow.
Albon has 50.
Heading
Hamilton
out,
getting close to
avoiding
that
the
wall.
kicking a bit of dirt onto the circuit. That's how hard he is pushing.
Yeah, Hamilton's pushing,
Try
man.
and catch.
2 seconds behind now. Alonso's also pushing.
Didn't go quite to play back in 2010.
Did he take all the life out of those medium tires? Did he push too hard?
The title, taking points of each other, and allowing
2 seconds doesn't look that far, huh, buddy?
Yeah, Hamilton made McLaren his own team, took the title 1 year later. Alonso had to make moves through the wilderness, found his way to Ferrari. Didn't work out at Ferrari, couldn't claim that third world championship that he valued and coveted so much. And then that set off the sequence of events where he was chasing an alternative all the while.
Hamilton just
finally this year, he found
hacking
his way
at that
to
steering wheel. He is pushing.
working so well with, and he just had a quick check of the mirror to see where Hamilton was.
Hamilton was almost cutting some daisies on the entry to turn 3, almost right up to the grass. He's maximising every bit of track now in this
Roland
chase
Palmer.
of that Aston
Palmer.
Martin ahead, but he's just dropped back now over 2 seconds
Also,
away, really giving it everything.
The Jolyon Palmer guy.
The chicane.
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Jolyon Palmer.
Sliding the Mercedes.
He did one
Are
season
those
in F1.
medium tyres just
Yeah.
ebbing away from him? And has Alonso managed this one?
2 seasons.
35 races.
He goes earlier on. Has he got his win?
2016 and
He's still gonna be
2017,
marginal
I'd
to
say.
the end.
I
He's just got
thought
this
it
pace.
was
So he's got more
2016
in
too.
reserve.
Oh wait,
Hamilton 1.9 behind.
how many races are in one season?
Leave it to me.
Well, this year there was supposed to be
No more
24, but
information required
really only
for the
22
two-time
races
world
because
champion.
China got canceled in
He's definitely
Italy.
a master of
Imola
race
was canceled
management.
due to
He
weather.
knows what he's
So
doing.
back
He's
then,
a fantastic
races were
wheel-to-wheel
shorter,
racer
huh?
as well.
Yep.
And
I mean, no
he's
seasons,
taking pressure, the same way
less
Hamilton
races,
could
right?
earlier on.
Yeah, less races.
Alonso knows what he needs to do. He's just done a personal best on the last lap. Minute 15.7 is the fastest man on the circuit. So he has got some pace in the car.
Yeah, Alonso's
He's
pushing
unleashed a little
too.
bit more.
All right, let's get a read on the driver psychology of being in a DRS train like this. It's been multiple laps of, say, Lando Norris, who we're on board with at the moment, chasing down Valtteri Bottas. Multiple laps of sizing up where he's strong, where he's weak. No one's even had a hint of a look, though. There's not even been a hint of a lock-up from anyone in this battle for 7th.
It's so tricky because let's go.
Yeah, they're
forward and
showing,
see out of this corner.
they're showing
the closing speed to the Alfa
The
Romeo
guys
ahead.
from like
There's just none. Norris takes a tear off, and the Alfa Romeo starts blinking on their light. At the
they're
end
showing
of
the guys from like
bit of,
7th
energy
through
recovery
11th,
going on.
and they are so
There's
close
just
together.
nothing there because the car ahead also has a slipstream, also has DRS. So that's generally
Is that a hot box or something?
if
What
not
is that?
DRS, just an old-fashioned
Where?
slipstream could do
Oh,
something.
we're boxing.
But they've
It's
all
Sig
got
or
it,
something.
apart
Sig.
from Albon at the
Sig
front of this
like
train,
that.
who's
Sig or
driving
Sig.
so well. Still there in
What is
7th,
that?
soaking up the
That's
pressure.
a,
He knows how to
And
do it.
last time I was here,
He's told he knows
it's
how to
a-
do
it's
it
a
as well.
docking
Give him a bit of
station.
confidence. And with every lap that's ticking by, he starts to realise this could be a cracking result for the Williams team.
He will be cheered across the line by his team if he's able to stay.
Yeah, if
in
Albon
7th
can stay,
position. But every lap that he runs
top 10,
longer on those
they're gonna be really
tyres,
happy
he's
at
taking
Williams.
more punishment. Out of the late lunge,
Ooh,
really late
Lando
lunge
Norris
for
with a big
Lando
move.
Norris, who's
Oh.
done it again. Does he
Oh,
have the
did he keep the
momentum
position,
to set
though?
the place? Oh, Norris
Yeah,
is
looks
so
like he-
late on
looks
the
like he
brakes
got
to the
him.
hairpin. But Valtteri
Wow, that was a
trying to
crazy
fight
move.
back. Finally, someone is able to force
Lando
a move
Norris with a
in this
crazy
battle.
move on
Up the
Bottas.
pace for the moment goes Norris.
Oh, but here comes
P9,
Bottas
wheel
back.
to wheel into the final chicane, but it's Norris later on the
Nope.
brakes. It's Norris,
Norris,
going
man.
through.
Crazy
and that's
guy.
A fine way to get past.
crazy guy, this guy.
Hanging over him though, but at least he was able to force a move. And now Bottas on the
And Stroll.
rear guard action because he's got Stroll all over.
Stroll ready to make a move on Bottas also.
Hamilton is pushing.
I love a lunge. That was great.
Yeah, but
from
Alonso's
Lando there.
pulling
Just
away.
saw the gap. You got it
Alonso's
out.
back up to
Eventually
3 seconds
crossed
away,
the
so
gap. And he was
looks like
actually really
the
quick off
top
the corner
three are kind of
before it.
set.
Chicane of 8 and 9 took so much curb on the left-hander.
I mean, Hamilton's only third. I'm happy to add. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
To everyone
Really
else.
happy if Hamilton ends up on the podium, of
He had a a straight exit, could get close.
Hamilton hasn't really
Always like to see that.
momentarily break this DRS track
kind
up.
of falling
He had to do that because of
apart ever
he's the one
since
driver that's kind of got
last
nothing to lose
season.
in sending a bit of a lunge here. He's got to clear Albon, really.
He's not been
He wants
doing
to
well
try and
these
make 5
like,
seconds
past
to
2
Lance
seasons.
Stroll, who's currently in 11.
What was it, like 21? He was smashing everyone.
Finally able to
Well, I mean, they kind of gave the championship to Verstappen.
Drivers a few moments ago.
Michael Massey
Lap after lap after lap, and finally
messed that one up.
Open.
And then the next season, Hamilton, last season, his car just sucked, porpoising. And
laps old it is as well.
then this season, car's a little better, but the Red Bull is just such a good car.
Ocon just 0.6 of a second away.
Hands down the best car on the track.
That Norris seized. Norris will try and catch the pace out front. Max Verstappen continues to lead the Canadian Grand Prix, chasing. He's
6 laps to go.
Formula One on the
I got hiccups now.
Team Central.
I think Alonso is looking like he's got second now.
Look at the little flap on his his head.
Ooh, mistake from Verstappen.
I almost knocked myself out on that curve.
You know he's relaxed when he's laughing about this moment over the curb.
Hit the curb so hard.
On the floor, and that's the curve that sent George Russell into the barriers,
Yeah.
no less. But Max, I think, a little bit under the limit right now.
Yeah, Max is definitely not pushing that hard.
Steady because he ended up on the curve.
But still took a bad angle, and
keeping his foot.
I know all it takes is one little mistake, and
got 8 seconds in hand to
you're in the wall in
Going up
Formula One.
post-race show after
another
podium.
victory.
You know how hard driving these cars is because you race them on the sim. It's like
I wonder if he'll go for fastest
And
lap.
it's
Surely
kinda
he'll go for fastest lap.
Easier on
when
the
you
same
drive
car.
with no traction control, no brake assist, none of that, which is the only way I race, by the way. As a man, I feel like you shouldn't use any assist on the sim
I do medium.
to get the closest feel for what it's like in real life. But I mean, just keeping the car on the track is ridiculous. It's so hard.
Potential of that Red Bull.
We got a hint of it on the restart.
And they're doing it in real life,
Immediately
going
opened
way
up
faster.
to 1.2 seconds.
Huge, they're pushing it.
With the sim, you
They're the
can't feel the car on the sim. You can feel the steering wheel, you can feel the brake and the gas. Like that's it. You
When you're heading to your home race next, Lance Stroll.
can't feel any
11th
G-forces
place
on the racing sim.
road.
They are the best drivers in the world.
Stroll going deep.
Getting a little bit
Yeah.
more desperate in the battle now.
Oh, he went like all the way straight. He's having it in one hand. So.
Yeah, look how deep he went. Yeah, he almost rear-ended Bottas.
That's the key thing to look at.
Kept it on the road.
Past his own grandstand there on the exit of the
It
head.
does seem pretty fun though, because the steering wheel looks really cool.
This looks so fun. Hamilton is working, man. He's pushing, but maybe those medium tires are falling away by now.
Surely he's too far back for a lunge at this point, but out of turn 9, he just keeps it so tight, which gives him a chance to get this close.
Race is almost over. 67 or 70 laps.
As well. He's
Getting
driving
there.
nicely.
Go home
Is
and-
Norris? He's got that 5-second penalty
Chill.
hanging over.
You're gonna be on Twitch in a little bit.
Probably.
Probably. Check out Dylan on Twitch. Dilly DS17.
Yeah.
It's gonna fall off at some
Twitchy
point.
D.
I think it's pretty dangerous.
Which.
It's very loose. Understood.
Oh.
Yeah, the rear. I saw that earlier. I was wondering if that was
Oh, you see,
Esteban Ocon's rear wing is.
That is from
The
Lando
whole
Norris.
thing is loose.
Did you see it pop up like?
Black and orange
Yeah.
flags being waved at the
Look at
outfit.
that thing.
That is an unusual sight.
Yeah. You usually don't see a rear
If
wing
this falls off and hits someone,
wiggling
it's
like
gonna be
that.
extremely bad.
Yeah, maybe
It
10
is.
volts or
It
something?
is. It's very loose. It's a heavy piece.
every time it goes up the
Entire
curb,
rim
that thing is just
flailing around
wobbling.
the back of the Alpine. There's
If it
3
falls
laps to
off.
go. The
Lap
back
68 to
is
70, 3
surely
laps to
gonna be
go.
ready for Ocon.
And it's been like that for like
And
the last 10 laps or so, because I saw that earlier, and
that is particularly
I think it's just
safe,
from hitting the
driving
curbs too
around
hard
with
for
the-
so
with the
long.
Dangling around.
It's been doing that all race long. We've seen it from the high shots, but that's the first time we've gone on board, and it's dramatically worsened.
The rear is
The
like
halfway
way
point,
behind.
where it was by Brady, but nowhere near like this. And a
I mean, you
big
really hope
call
that
for race control to make. He's going to go for another one.
nothing
He's
falls off
gonna
of these
think-
cars. Oh, Lando Norris up the inside,
The crowd's opinion of
at
it.
the hairpin.
Great stuff
Almost
on
got
the
it
brakes
down.
for Lando Norris there.
Really close.
Has he just shown his hand though down the inside?
Yeah, the
of that?
McLaren has great.
He's so good on the brakes. Went for the lunge.
Great
Alphonse
braking
saw it coming in the
capabilities.
last minute, left the space, but still no sign of a lockup. And I think he was just sort of second guessing that there would be a crash if he kept in there. But he could have hugged the apex and ran with
Oh,
the
yeah.
Alpine all the way through. But
Look
that
like they're
rear
about to
wing
hit
is
the wall of
very, very wobbly.
Whoa.
Yeah, so Alonso's got this
chance down into turn
pretty well
one.
in hand. He's 3.2 seconds ahead of Hamilton now, so
He's just on the fastest middle sector of anyone so far.
Verstappen's going to try to claw back the fastest lap.
There. It's going to be a special podium that remains for Verstappen, Alonso, and Hamilton. That is an all-time.
So we'll see the top three. I'm sure we'll all be pushing, trying to hit maybe a fastest lap coming in. Hamilton's waving to people already.
Point for fastest lap. As race control is continuing not to take any notice of that rear wing, despite Norris's appeals on the radio.
Yeah, they're so close to the end of the
I wanna
race
see
now. There's a
Hamilton
lap
get-
and a half for these guys.
Going a post
And,
ratio
Perez
after
has
podium.
lifted, so that'll be the go for fastest
It's
lap.
funny.
Verstappen with a personal best, but just a little bit away. So
This
Perez
picture is
surely
like
will
this,
take it
like-
to the other Red Bull on a new set of softs. Ocon is
Lap
very close to the end. The track is so
69
bumpy. I wonder if this has worked loose throughout this 70
Yeah,
laps,
bumpy
69
track.
laps so far. And every time he strikes a curb or a bump, you can just see the hole.
I wonder if Verstappen really hit a bird.
Pit stop
Earlier.
2.2.
Flexing.
Oh yeah, he's going for the fastest lap.
Full on
He hit a
wobble
bird.
from that rear wing as Perez rejoins the track, still clear of this bunch.
He hit a
Oh, that's
bird.
Perez in the pit. I thought that was Verstappen in the pit for a second. Yeah, it was Perez. Yeah, he's going to try to get that fastest lap. So.
Got used to it last year.
I want to see Hamilton get
Usually drivers tactically doing
driver
it, but Perez has got the margin. Alex Albon very nearly home. Max Verstappen on
Final
the
lap.
final lap of the race.
Yeah, he already
Final
won.
2.7
He already
miles for him
Great.
to deliver
Unless he
a
crashes.
superb and historic moment for the Red
Check.
Bull team, chasing a century
getting the-
victories in Formula
You ready?
One as he makes his way. We've barely seen him today. He's been in
You're
so
getting
much
the Verstappen
control
for the
all the
win.
way through. He's going to add 25 points to
Bruh.
his account. It's his teammate
He's
going
going crazy
the fastest
with the
lap.
flag. He's like,
Yates in the Ocon's
Yeah.
rear wing has
God dang.
been noted, but this is a special moment for the team.
Man, 100th win for Red Bull.
Milton Keynes, who will
Pretty crazy.
absolutely
Still
say
sliding all
what
over.
they've got, the driver
Hands
that
ready,
they've got,
like in
the
a
performance that
duel.
they've got. They're going to win every
Yeah.
single Grand Prix
Yeah.
up to this point this year.
Jesus Christ.
They've got the lead.
They've
in
won
both
every race.
championships,
Red Bull's
and they've got the
won
acclaim
every
of
race
the
this year so
crowd
far.
As well.
Yep.
They're standing to applaud Max Verstappen, who's dominated again. It will be his fourth win in a row, but what a
Fourth
special
in a
moment
row.
for the driver it will be, because
Gotta
he will
wait.
tie Ayrton Senna's
Gotta
41
wait.
Grand Prix
Wow.
victories. A special moment for any driver.
Tied Senna,
For
that's
Red
cool.
Bull, though, a journey that began in 2005 will see a crowning moment in
And-
2023. Max Verstappen wins.
Max Verstappen with the win!
They're 100
So
in
the
Formula
weird.
One. Mercedes.
Nah.
That's what we do.
It's members of the
Go.
Fernando Alonso.
as a
I'm
constructor.
glad Hamilton got
Lewis Hamilton, P3.
So it's not in second place. Hamilton completes the podium
That's
in
a ghost
P3.
effect. Like,
Leclerc then signs. Perez is going to get
Leclerc.
that fastest lap run and get the bonus point. And Alex
That was a
Albon
decent race.
nearly home.
It was a decent race. A little bit of action, a little bit of entertainment. Lando Norris trying to get that position. Lando Norris go pushing. He's right on the bumper.
By for
Ah.
the British
I could
driver
throw
up
off
against
the
the
pass,
Frenchman.
Bottas,
And Alex
just to get
Albon will be
points.
willing it there. We're going.
Oh, here we go. Let's go. Let's go, Lando.
Norris, but it's wheel to wheel.
Lando Norris just got
The McLaren.
on the outside. Switchback now.
Bails out of it.
No room.
What a
Bailed out.
defensive drive from
That's all good. It was a
Albon,
nice,
who gets his best
That's
finish
his
of
lap
the
Perez,
season,
yeah.
and just his second point-scoring result over the line we go. And Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll
Wow.
finds his way. past
No
Valtteri
way.
Bottas.
Lance Stroll
He
nicked
did.
P10.
That's what I was saying.
Lance Stroll nicked P10
That's what I was
right
saying.
before the line.
Lance Stroll might want to pass.
So, Stroll P9 at the end.
What happened to Norris? P13?
Max.
Oh, because he had a penalty.
Yeah, not bad. That.
Norris had a
And that's
penalty.
100 win for the team, so that's a great result.
100th win for the
Well done, mate.
team.
That is
Albon,
that's,
P7.
for the team, so fantastic.
That's the driver of the day. He's in a Williams, bro.
Race victory for us today. Well done, mate.
Yeah, that's maybe not our strongest track with the conditions, but it's so very good result.
Yeah, still
It's all
won.
good.
Still got the W. Red Bull can't lose,
Well, a
man.
race that didn't have always loads of action. At the end, Jolien. all
Not even
the
track for them.
Stroll pinching ninth
Not good
place
weather for
Bottas
Red Bull, and they still
on the
win.
line.
And a brilliant fight between Norris.
I want to see the replay of Stroll and Bottas.
Holding on to 7th place.
For the win.
Ocon up in 8th again, man. Ocon
Points for them.
he's doing great in the Alpine.
Pretty funny stream, but pretty like medium
You did a
race.
great job.
And I know Gasly's pissed because I know Gasly considers himself a better driver than Ocon, but Ocon's been coming out ahead of him every race.
If you want to say,
I bet Bottas
yeah,
is
well,
pissed.
guys,
Oh, I was
I'm
pissed.
happy.
I bet Bottas is
I'm
pissed.
happy. We gave everything again.
Alonso was happy.
I'm super pissed off.
And second.
Yeah, well done, mate. Great job.
I bet Bottas is
Sixth
pissed.
podium
He was
of the
about to
season
get, he was
from
about
8
to
races.
get points,
And-
then
And
Stroll
he was
just
his personal best since
got the points.
Right?
in the last few years.
Okay.
And in Monaco, he's got 2nd place again.
Nice work, Lewis. So that's a P3, mate.
That was a tough race, guys. But great job today. Great job this weekend. Let's keep this consistency up. It's awesome.
I knew it. Hour and 40 minutes.
Alonso's just driving so well at the moment, isn't
Yeah.
he? Barely making mistakes.
How fun is it to watch
Every weekend.
Hamilton and Alonso? I mean, those guys are
nursing a little issue.
competing against each other, and it's I mean, two of the drivers
No one can
ever
touch.
right there.
Monty Max takes another win.
Two
Championship in his
greats.
pocket right now. It's just
I mean,
one
this
sort of
top
record
three,
really
Verstappen,
racked up again. It's
Alonso,
like all
and
over
Hamilton. I mean,
Red
Jeez.
Bull's been on top of every single
So many
Grand Prix
championships
for the last
between those
4.
guys.
It's Max
Pretty
Verstappen,
dope.
41 times now a Grand Prix winner in Formula One, and a day
Yeah.
to save
The helmet's
for
so big.
Red Bull Racing.
yeah.
Huge satisfaction.
Yeah, that was
to join
that was a good race.
100 Club.
That was a good
Well done to
race.
them. And Max Verstappen.
The Canadian Grand Prix 2023 in Montreal.
Unless Alonso.
Still dreaming
I
of
think the
that
name of the
top step.
track, it's the
Be
Gil
able to keep it
Gil
all year long.
Villeneuve.
green.
Villeneuve.
Nah, it's not that blue. It's called the green.
Villeneuve. How do you say Villeneuve in
Not taken
French?
in extreme
Green.
circumstances.
Gilles
The
Villeneuve.
way that he's driving every
That
weekend,
it?
he's there.
Yeah.
Pretty
Is my
much.
French pronunciation good? Sorry guys, I gotta work on that.
We're gonna-
My bad.
It's called the green bean.
A rare
All right, man. Good race, Dilly.
qualifying.
Once again, I'm Fly Live Phil.
Check between Alonso
With me as
and
always, co-host, the bro host.
Fernando all the way, but in the end there were no cracks.
Dilly
and he
Dill,
was managing
Dilly
to
Dollar.
turn that
Yeah,
race. Lewis will be happy
yeah.
with third, I think. 4
All
points
right,
for him,
ready to end stream?
and Mercedes not miles away either. Both a little
Thanks for
close
joining
to
us.
February.
All right.
On not a good track, on not a great
Peace
day.
out, guys. Thanks for watching.
Still was a
Bye, guys.
was a
Thanks
pretty
for watching.
comfortable win.
Alex Albon.
Wait,
is your
what the-
driver